Futures back to the upside again this morning to wrap up what has been another positive week for the Nasdaq, positive week for stocks in general across the board ahead of an expected Xi and Trump call coming up today. We are going to get a little bit more clarity possibly on the China story. We're also going to get a little more clarity. Maybe you can take over, Shira.
Yeah. Oh, hey, guys. All right. Yeah, President Xi and President Donald Trump expected to speak today with respect to the TikTok deal, as well as many other trade-related negotiation points. We know that they've been in Madrid all week, Scott Bessent and other trade negotiators. So we'll wait to see exactly what happens there. But there's a lot to talk about this morning, guys. Tesla up here 1% on the back of an upgrade from Baird. Likewise, Nvidia making a large acquisition with respect to networking, looking to network about 100 to 200,000 of these GPUs together, and they've made an acquisition of a company named Enfabrica. Also, FDX reporting better than expected results. And Apple, we're hearing about lineups stretching around for the release of the iPhone 17. So we'll be keeping on that. Quantum has also been quite strong with IONQ breaking out lightly down this morning. Lennar also reporting this morning as well. And Intel, on the back of a huge day yesterday, gets a downgrade today, I believe, from who? It is Intel downgraded by Citi, downgrading Intel this morning, basically flat here to start the morning. All right, guys, we are going to go to the big boys.
Good morning, everybody, and hope everyone had a good night. If you're a Dolphins fan, you probably didn't, but
I think the Dolphins showed up.
No, actually, I thought they.
Yeah.
I can go into a diatribe of
consider
how it shouldn't have been that close. That the Bills' offense wasn't as good as it should have been, and you needed some breaks at the end. But you know, at the end of the day, a win, a W is a W. We got our teams through in our suicide league, and Apple has got its iPhone 17 China launch. That's one of the stronger Mag 7 names this morning. So I think that's one to be on watch. Obviously, remember, it's Friday, but it's the third Friday. So we got triple witching here. It's September.
All right.
We're going to have some index rebalancing at the end of the day. Robinhood going into the S&P 500 with AppLovin and, that engineering firm that I never remember the name of. Emicor, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really, they don't matter. Robinhood's the big one, and effective Monday morning. So tonight at the close should be pretty big as well.
Hey, everybody, we're back into work today. Glad to be back. Thank you for the kind words in the chat, of course. But we're looking for Intel to break down. We're looking for Apple to go upside. And Apple breaking such a key level here as their iPhone 17, gets well received there in India and China. There it goes right here. We've been talking about this for a while right now, trying to break through this little area. We talked about this yesterday on the recap show. I said this is tomorrow's trade. We just need some good news from Apple. So we'll see if it can break. It's not like it's clear skies to the upside, but Apple's been pretty sweet long right there. And there you go. Randy brings the Apple pain to us again as well. So, it should be. Whoa, hey now.
Superman is in the building.
How's the demo going over there?
Bid number one is gone.
Bid number one is gone.
Crazy.
20-yard bin of stuff. Anyway.
Yeah,
not without drama this morning, but.
We had a little noise session, but, pre-show, so.
Yeah.
Oh, and the breaker, that was nothing?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Tripped the breaker this morning when the saw came on, and thankfully that wasn't during the show, but.
Not too dramatic there.
Nah.
How you like them apples? Yeah, good quote there, Mike Simmons. But yeah, Bitcoin back down to the downside there, 16.2. That's not going great. Big Bear AI trying to go again up to 640 or so as the high. So we'll have to take a look on that. Open Door today as well. I mean, we're all the stocks are doing the same old stuff here to start with. $10. So they're all at some levels. They're all up right now. The Nasdaq's pretty flat right there, a 0.17 right now. So we're going to have to pick and choose our spots today. Nvidia.
You see where Big Bear AI bounced yesterday?
No, I didn't really trade Big Bear AI yesterday.
602. Like just literally off the $6 level. About as close as you could get to it. So this is, sometimes you look back, and if you're not watching that particular stock at the open, it's not like you're going to see that kind of a thing happen. So. But it's crazy, like six even on a stock like this. I can only imagine what it looked like on the bid. So I want to, in case we do flush, like if there's a sell at the open, I think this is one to watch, especially at that $6 level. But yeah, there was a lot that could have got missed yesterday. Like Reddit had a pretty big reversal that I think was not very good. We'll talk about this topping tail candle on Reddit looks a little bit ominous. One of the names that got definitely, I mean, look, Micron has been slept on for the last couple of weeks, I think, because there's not many more impressive charts than Micron. They report next week, so it's rallying into their earnings, one of the last major names that we're going to get a report on this quarter. But just look at the daily on Micron, and this feels like a genuine pullback day. Micron down 3.5% on not much of anything here, but that just goes to the fact that it was made a $50 move in the last couple of weeks just to start the month. Like 2 weeks from 120 to 170 on Micron and barely a peep out of it going into earnings, like not even post earnings. I have a feeling there's going to be some profit takers before earnings on this particular name. That's for sure.
Yeah, what's up, Mr. Westermeyer? Thanks for the advice. Yeah, crazy busy weekend today. I'm actually trying to organize with my parents right now to drop off my son and my dog because we have a big trip ahead, and it should be fun. So he doesn't want to come all the way there to Sudbury to watch some hockey. So yeah, we've got some stuff ready to go here today. FedEx was interesting last night, obviously, as they talk a little bit better about their forward look here on their business. But we've been pulling back. Wow, okay, so FedEx only now up 0.77. Wow, okay, not good. Yeah, they started to go up there yesterday, and then there's the fade back in. We had, in sympathy, UPS starting to go to the upside as well there, and then boom, right back into 85 and change again for UPS. So, yeah, man, interesting pullbacks as maybe today is going to be some sort of a reddish day in the market. I don't know. I'm not predicting that. I don't think that necessarily. But here's the size that we talked about. It's not that big yet. I don't know. I thought we'd be a little bit bigger here on a rebalance day. But yeah, what Kenview? Okay, but Pfizer. We never talk about Pfizer anymore, do we? Pfizer's just been doing nothing for a very long time. I feel like. 25, 26, like this seems to be the prices for Pfizer. Pfizer has been in like a $2, I mean, sure, we went down to 21 there, I don't know what was going on there. Oh, that was April. So it's been in like a $2 range here for a very, very long time, Pfizer. But anyways, nothing, it's not on my radar, just one of the top names here on the imbalance.
That Lumen's on the locator again, though. They were
Merck.
Lumen with the Palantir deal last week. 700,000 to the sell side. But I think what will happen is a little closer to the open. Maybe we'll see a little bit more on that locator. And certainly at the close, it should be a pretty big deal. I know we're going to have, we're supposed to have Michael coming on through. He was in the building.
Oh, right. That's right.
On Monday. So hopefully we'll have him remotely. Let's see if we can't we'll get back up to the desk and move it on. Because I'm telling you, we got a busy day, I think. I was hoping for some continuation, but the only things I really liked long were Palantir and Apple. Like everything else looks bearish after yesterday's charts. A lot of stocks look pretty bearish after yesterday's charts.
Yeah.
Gentlemen?
We're going to connect with Michael Noss coming up here. Hopefully my mic is behaving a little bit better now and we can talk normally. You mentioned real quick off the top there, the iPhone 17 day has arrived. Lots of lineups being reported all over the place. It's been a couple of years. I mean, this is a yearly event. It's been a couple of years since we've seen these types of headlines around the launch day.
Absolutely, Brendo. I mean, it was very muted reception last year for the 16, especially with the botched AI rollout. We're getting a lot more demand this year and a lot more enthusiasm, at least from what's being reported initially. You're seeing lineups in Beijing, London, and Singapore. I saw Dubai Mall. There was a huge lineup there as well. And a lot of people are saying different things. They're saying, hey, we like the new features, the upgraded cameras, we like the upgraded battery. And there's not just demand for the 17, Brendo. There's a lot of demand as well for the AirPods, which now have a heart rate monitor as well as some hearing aid features. And anecdotally, on my favorite social media platform, TikTok, there is people trying to break the iPhone Air, Brendo, and it is not budging. I was just showing Joe off camera. Some guys sitting there smashing it with a hammer. So at least the initial fears that this thing was going to be very similar to the 6. I don't know if you remember the 6S, the first large model that Apple dropped. It was bending. Titanium, I guess not bending this time, so not too bad.
I saw a couple of videos of drop tests. I think it was actually the manufacturer, though, like Apple themselves doing the drop tests initially, and nothing. Good, yeah? Didn't even like crack, nothing. So, I mean, yeah, it seems very, very strong for something so teeny tiny. Let's bring in, as we said, Michael Noss on a Friday morning here, and we'll get a look at a few smaller names once again. Mr. Noss, good to see you. Happy Friday. What a week it's been. See you. Yet another positive week here for stocks. You're looking at Cathie Wood's portfolio at this time?
Yeah, and I don't know, I don't know when I've done this recently, and I think the first slide explains why, because she's been out of the game for a long time and been beaten up for just a bit. And the article here is saying she was the largest wealth destroyer in the last decade. So not a title, not a crown that you want to hold based off Morningstar, losing $14 billion, but I saw yesterday a chart on Twitter that I thought was super interesting. This next one just showing ARK versus the Qs. I added the little, don't call it a comeback from Mama Says Knock You Out for people as old as me. But so this chart is essentially ARK over the Qs. So not just ARK going up, because we're in this stage of the market where kind of everything is going up. So it makes a lot more sense to compare what versus what you want to invest in. So is there this is basically, if this line is going up, it means ARK is outperforming the Qs. And if this line is going down, it means the Qs are outperforming ARK. And you can see for a very long time, basically since the highs of that kind of 2020, 2021 ramp up, you didn't want to be in ARK. You wanted to be in the Qs instead. And now you look at that, I say it all the time, I've been trained to buy smiley faces and sell frowny faces, starting to look like might be a little bit of a comeback for ARK stocks. Next chart I wanted to put out here is ARK versus BRK.B. And if you go obviously back in history, you'd be way better off investing in Uncle Warren than Cathie would, but that's been changing a little bit here, and not just because of the weakness that we've seen in BRK.B, but a little bit of strength in ARK. So it looks like we might be breaking out on this ratio, so might be some little outperformance. So what I did is, again, just because it's an ETF, and the beauty of ETFs is you can always just go through and see what their holdings are, as I went through and just took a look at some of the holdings that are interesting. I ignored a lot of the big ones we know, the biggest one being Tesla, just because I'm sure there's enough analysis on Tesla out there. So I thought I'd look a little bit under the hood at some other names that she's holding to see these are the names that you need to break out if you think that Cathie Wood and her ETF is going to move higher. So this first one is Roku. It's very interesting, around this kind of $100 area, beaten up huge, like a lot of them in that 2021, 2022 bear market, never really got back up to it. It's $100 if it breaks out of, if you think this is going to go back to all-time highs, it's $500. And I like charts like this because if we break through $100 and then we fail that breakout and we spend any time in the 80s or 90s, then you're probably wrong and it's time to go. Next here is another one that's not only Cathie Wood, but this is one of those Nancy Pelosi picks. TEM, which I looked, is AI and healthcare, which is just a awesome combination right now. Butting up here against all-time highs. This is all the data there is because this is a brand new issue. So this one actually started quite recently. So that's interesting as well, and looks like it could break. Again, these things are what needs to break to get ARK moving. And last but not least is CRSP. Now, what I've done on this one is that pink line, that is the anchored view app from all-time highs. So the idea is, if you started buying this at the worst possible time, your price is around $75 or $70 to $75. And that, to me, is always interesting because it's just showing this is the sentiment. If you're above this, it means pretty much everyone in the stock is back to making money. All-time highs being 220. Now, those are very interesting stocks, and that's part of why I wanted to talk about it. But the real reason was to show we all know what Cathie Wood likes to invest in, and it is the speculative of the speculative, companies that aren't doing anything right now, but she has very lofty price targets for 5, 10, 20 years out, companies that she believes is going to change the world. And those have been out of favor for a very long time because the companies that are doing things right now, being your kind of mega scalers and your AI play, those have been in favor. So the question is, and the thing that I'm always trying to bring to you guys is, where is the puck going? Are we going to take some profits on some names that have been doing very well, and are we going to start putting them into other names? And where is that going to happen? I've talked a lot about small caps. Those are working very well with an all-time high recently. And then we have names like this, in which these are companies that have the promise of something amazing very far out. And you see in certain market cycles, these really become the outperformance when kind of we hit that euphoria stage of the market. So some great names, some things to look at, and hey, maybe it's time for a little bit of a Cathie Wood in your portfolio.
You mentioned the small cap aspect here, market pricing in 75 basis points worth of cuts now through to 2026. if we are going into a longer, cutting period from the Fed and getting interest rates down to, I don't know, 3, maybe even below that, if inflation continues to be a little bit of a problem. My long story short here, a lot of these charts that we just looked at, they've already made massive moves, let's be honest. If that is, like I said, we're going into a cutting period that's going to be an extended time, what is the potential here in your mind?
The potential in my mind might be another 2021. And for those who are trading there, things got ridiculous when it came to valuations. That was the original people selling pictures of rocks for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if we are going to cut, we've kind of realized that interest rates don't matter to the big guys. They didn't get affected when we were raising rates, so I don't think they'll get affected when it's cutting. So I think it's more of a rotational thing. We have just hit all-time highs in small caps, and it's since the first time since 2021. So if you look at that and say, okay, well, is this going to catch up to the regular market? What you have to do is look at what the S&P 500 looked like when it broke its 2021 high, which it's, I think, almost doubled since then. It's at least 70% up since then. So if we're going to see that same move in small caps, it could be that we're only getting started. Now, it's always the thing that nobody is watching that causes the end of these rallies. So at some point, this will all come to an end. I just don't see that on the horizon now that the Fed's going to make it easier for people to invest and for small companies to actually do well and compete with larger companies.
Have a plan, have tight stops, and
yes.
Yeah, best of luck if we do get. I mean, Roku was $500 on that chart. It feels like a lifetime ago at this point, but anyway, Michael Noss, have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Talk to you Monday.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Michael. And as always, certainly informative. And I think Tempest might be a name that gets a lot of people's interest. Certainly, maybe not as much for the Cathie Wood effect, but the space that they're in and the Pelosi effect, which is true. And hey, we've had just about everyone else been breaking out and making all-time highs. So why wouldn't this one take it out as well? Little skeptical that's going to be. The thing about it happening today, right? When you're looking at higher time frames like Michael is, you look at this chart, it's like, oh, great, that looks like a pretty good breakout today. Well, there's no catalyst on Tempest, so the idea that it's going to break out that top today and go is pretty low probability. But I am interested in Tempest. Possibly next week, this could be a breakout.
Yeah. I just want good call there. We are going to go to Joe in a second there. Andreas getting excited there. But yeah, I just want to say the ARK-KQ, this is the robotics, autonomous technology and robotics ETF. So this is the only ARK that I've ever invested in. And there it goes. So it is a pick and choose type of thing. Michael didn't talk about this, but look at the robotics and autonomous ETF here for ARK. So, we'll pat ourselves on the back for being in it, but it was just because I wanted to get a robotics ETF. So if you're looking at something right here, we used to have Raider Trader on, was talking about robotics. I've been in this name for forever, really. I can't even, it was well before 2024. Anyways, I'm just surprised when I looked at how well this has been doing lately. So ARK-KQ, not destroying any wealth as far as Cathie Wood is concerned. So pick and choose your battles, but I definitely am a fan of this particular ETF, and it's been such a home run. So ARK-KQ, the robotics ETF. All right, Joe, kill him.
Happy Friday. All right, let's take a look at what we got going on here. A lot of price target raised. So JP Morgan raising the price target on Apple to $280. And then we have the likes of Micron by TD Cowen also getting the nod. Price target raised to $180. Now Kohl's by Citigroup getting that price target raised to $19, and FedEx by TD Cowen. Now on the downgrade side, we have a neutral to sell in Darden Restaurants by BTI Group, BTIG Research. And then we have MetLife by Piper Sandler getting that price target lowered to $84. Yes, that's a downgrade. Now, yes, surprisingly, as Sharif mentioned earlier, that Citigroup is downgrading Intel to $29. And then UPS by BMO Capital also getting the downgrade as well, too, guys. Now, let's take a look at some of the calls. Now, if we look at NewScale and CleanSpark, the volume in the open interest isn't overly substantial. but it's relative, all right? So we'll go from the top of the list here. Intel put in 106,000 contracts yesterday. Those are completely closed. And then as for the open interest, you have 11,300. Not an oversized amount, but wait for the open to come in because as Neil mentioned also this morning, it is triple witching. So look out for volume in the likes of Apple, SPY, and the Qs, and then you'll see a little bit of a relative volume coming out of the gate because a lot of contracts are going to be closed. Now, as for NewScale, we've seen that SMR was trading higher yesterday and broke out with 31,800 contracts being closed on this week's expiration cycle. As I mentioned, it may not seem like a lot of volume or open interest, but it's relative, all right? Now, CleanSpark also breaking out yesterday as well, 29,700 contracts completely closed with 30,900 remaining. Keep an eye out again, guys, for the volume out of the open.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. That like twice that 37.50. Well, you can make an argument 3 times that 37.5 on SMR was a big deal yesterday. Like at the open, it was kind of drifting away from it, and then once it broke out, it was holding support. Pulled from 41, like you thought that, okay, well, it gets to 41, it's going to hold, such a strong stock. And then it lost the open and then bounced at the close in front of that same 37.5. So I think that's the right spot to be looking on SMR. But you can't talk about SMR without looking at Oklo, which means similar move without the breakdown in the afternoon, like it pulled back into VWAP. And the daily chart on this is just built entirely differently, OKLO versus SMR. So I think both of them obviously going to be in play to a certain extent because of the volatility that they have, but a little more strength in Oklo, but that 37.5 would be the place to look on SMR. And for the life of me, I see Micron on that upgrade list, and it's down 3%, and I can't see why it's down to 3%. I get an upgrade, and really, it could just be some exhaustion happening here on Micron. There isn't a negative catalyst that I'm aware of on the stock.
Yeah, Micron coming with a report, I think is next week. We have Costco next week as
Costco
well,
too,
so that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, look, I mean, great nuclear call out there on some of those plays. I like the Intel downgrade on the upgrades and downgrades, so we'll have to find out if that's going anywhere. And again, President Trump wins again, right? I mean, those guys bought shares at $20.43, and Intel is at $30. So there it is. Yeah, Neil has a little bit of a funny graphic.
It's just from his truth.
Bought Intel 20, Intel now 30. So there it is, man. I mean, you know, only winning, right? And it's great. And there you go again. So another little I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and it continues to go a little higher. And that's exactly the reason why I don't like Intel up here. So, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So we sold some yesterday. It's down a little bit today. Probably going to go higher every time I sell something. It goes higher. So Intel probably along here in everybody's portfolio. But I think that was a great graphic. So President Trump always forever the troll, right? I mean, the guy's hilarious. So I at least gotta say that. I'm not sure Joe Biden even knew what.
No, he would never.
AI is or anything like that. So, all right, let's keep going on here. Go back to the desk. Bitcoin continues to fall. I have Bitcoin written down as a short today. It's just not reacting the way I thought we would have into that rate cut, right? I mean, yesterday it did get going a little bit, but still stopping at 117. I thought yesterday was a record day, actually. All 4 markets closing at record highs. IWM, I think the last time it happened was 2022. IWM record highs yesterday. Nasdaq record highs yesterday. S&P 500 record highs yesterday. IWM, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones. So all 4 of those hitting all-time highs yesterday. Meanwhile, Bitcoin languishing. So I think there is a downside play there on BTC, so we're going to be looking short there as well. But just a couple ideas. It's 8:54. Thank you for watching. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. It's going to be another fun day here with the imbalances. Should be interesting right off the open. I don't know.
I think the close will be bigger than the open, but you never really know how these things will play out until they come around. And this is the thing, when it's just because it's a witching day and we think there could be increased volatility at the open and the close, it's not some kind of carbon, this is in stone, it's going to be absolutely insane, watch for these crazy candles. Sometimes, but other times it might not be, so don't get caught. I found on a witching day, more than anything else, some people are like, oh, you're going to do so much at the open. I find I do less in the first 5 minutes on a witching day than any other day. But we got Control Alt Escape. We remember you from last week. How could you not? AMD long. Well, AMD was a long yesterday on that Intel and Nvidia move, I guess, because AMD is the one that got punished for it. And they spent when I say they, you know what I mean. The market spent the day buying it back up, and I don't have any of the chips on my list today. I mean, that said, it actually doesn't look that. It needs to hold 155, I think, the prior support level, because when you have a big news event or reaction to a news event, and we basically just erase the down move, well, I want to make sure that the prior support holds. You're back to where you were before with 155 holding. So that will be the key here this morning. You hold on to 155, and I think there's all the reason why this could just go back into the 160, 161. But that's going to be a key hold at 55. There was at least one analyst that came out saying that this wasn't a bad thing for AMD, but the market was telling you that anyways. So a lot of the focus is I'm going to make an assumption a lot of the focus usually ends up on Intel and Nvidia because they're more directly related, and Nvidia's got another story today. But yeah, AMD was fantastic for a long yesterday, no questions asked.
I only have 4 names written on here. Intel, so here's my sticky note. Peugeot was asking for some trade ideas. We all have, if you go over to X, Neil and I both post up some of the trade ideas that we have, and this is mine here today. So we have Intel short, Apple long, AMD long, iBit short. So, and with a couple explanations there, and we have some numbers here today as well. Oops, that's not right. That got copied incorrectly. Off the Fed interest rate decision today, Neil.
Boom, let's go.
Yeah, so that should be exciting. But anyways, go back over there, have a quick look on that. That must have been an old draft that I copied over. All right, so that's a sticky note here today for September 19th with a couple trade ideas up in there. And I'm going to edit to get rid of today being Fed day because it's not. So bye-bye for that right now. And yeah, that's what's on the watch list. Go have a checkout and see what's going on. It is Trader TV Live. We'll all have them up. And we also have our watch list that we produce every single day. So if you're looking for some trade ideas, go find that right. The Treasury Department just came up here as a suggestion for me. All right, so
follow the Treasury Department.
Yeah, I don't know. I should. I don't know where was that? That was just here a second ago. All right, let's go back over the desk, see what the boys are up to.
I was just looking at FedEx, just popping up again in front of me here on one of my screens. The gain is gone, so that happened already. Yeah. We are trying to bounce off 226, which was essentially support from yesterday's, the 15-minute chart. Huge move, but I mean, we're red now. Crazy.
Brendo, look, they were really hurt by the removal of the de minimis exemption. They basically bringing in cheap goods from China that were under $800. That was a lot. They had a large business coming out of China there. That's all gone. They expect about $150 million trade headwind as a result. They did really well on the quarter, beating on the top and bottom line. They reaffirmed their full year guidance, but this specific issue that they're having with small packages, volume dropping from China is a bit of a headwind, Brendo.
I was just seeing we got retail sales data here in Canada, negative 1.2%. Consensus was negative 0.7%. Our unemployment rate, negative 7.2% as well, or 7.2%, depending on how you look at it. So those two things combined pointing to continued weakness.
And probably double that for youth unemployment, Brendo. We keep hearing more about that. Yeah, it's a bit of a tougher look. But I always say on the midday show, it's darkest before the dawn. I think Mark Carney, the new prime minister, has been outlining a whole series of nation-building projects. We got the first tranche already, Brendo. We're expecting the second tranche around Grey Cup time. So I think we've bottomed, and we're hopefully going to make higher lows.
Well, I love how you use Grey Cup as a point.
That's what he said, Brendo.
A point in time. People are apparently going to know. Let's have a look at the market here.
All right, guys, let's take a look at the ES September contract. Guys, December contract, we've rolled now. 66.93 is where we closed out yesterday with the overnight high being 67.06. So we're still dancing with that 6,700 point area. We really haven't reclaimed it. We're showing 67.02 right now. So here's the deal. If we trend up right at the open and we're defending 6,700, we're going to use it as support. If we fail for whatever reason and lose 6,700, we're looking at at that same area, 66.75 as our support level. In fact, the overnight low, 66, Brendo, 79.
All right, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you take a second, jump down to the description of this video. As always, top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. It's free. Why not? Just grab that every single morning. Has everything you need to know that is moving around in the pre-market. Here's Baird with a positive note on Tesla this morning. We've been talking about Tesla the past couple of days here. I mean, it's been a really nice week for the stock. Continuing to the upside, target now 548 according to Baird.
And a big jump, right? Because previously they had it at 320. So a nice move, over $200 per share. The premium valuation, according to Baird, is justified as investor focus shifts from Tesla's role as to a physical AI company. The Tesla stock has gained about 24% in the past month. They're seen as a leader in physical AI, including, robotics, self-driving, robotaxi. And the analyst at Baird noted that muted stock reactions to weak earnings suggest the market is kind of looking beyond the near-term weakness of the stock. Now, here's where we're talking about maybe bullishness from the shareholders. So Tesla's proposed pay package for Elon Musk ties rewards to aggressive product and financial milestones. So here's what they're talking about, Brendo. We're looking for 20 million vehicles delivered annually, 10 million full self-driving subscriptions, 1 million robots, 1 million robotaxis, and a market cap as high as about $8.5 trillion. I've got a whole lot other to say, but we'll save it for the midday news.
Everyone gets a Tesla. 35% since August, guys, to the upside for Tesla.
Everyone gets a robot. Forget about the Tesla.
The thing is, I don't even think, when I read those numbers, I don't even think they're that out of line.
They're not absurd.
I mean, I don't know.
If the robot, here's the thing.
3 million cars?
It's not, those aren't ridiculous numbers. But you know what? Remember when everyone's like, Tesla's dead? And Tesla's the worst, blah, 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 and this is crushing your portfolio and all that stuff. Well, the thing about Tesla, when I look back even further, look at how good this has actually been. When it breaks down, look where it's supported. What's the obvious area that you would have think it would support? That 215 to 220 area, right? When it runs from here, you expect it to kind of hold around. That's exactly what happened. Oh, and when it breaks back out, well, what do you think's going to hold? These prior high area, right around that 300. And then where was the buying when we were dipping the last time? 300. So the obvious sort of 220 area, the obvious sort of 300 area, and then the breakout. And no one cares about the news. It's just doing all the good technical stuff and going higher. We're in a consolidative phase now, consolidative phase with Tesla. And this entire week has been a consolidation phase. Can't break 430, can't break down under 410. So in that mode on a Friday, I actually like this I kind of like it in both directions here. I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, stocks only ever go up and we're all fun with it. But today, if we false break above 425 and can't take out 430, I want to look for a reversion short. Now, came in and it was gapped up a little bit, so I was thinking that way first. But you've got to also respect the fact that 410 and then this little wick into 400 have also held. So I'm playing reversions in either direction on Tesla today. I'm expecting on a witching day, you'll get one or the other. We're either going to have a drop and pop or, ideally a pop, or we're going to get some kind of a pop and fade. I'm not taking any breakouts on this or, continuations through. I got other ideas for that. But yeah, for Tesla, upgrade doesn't necessarily matter to me much. I think Tesla's been forward-looking long enough that we've all been looking for Optimus and what's next for a while. That's how you justify being in this thing in the first place.
Open Door just named a new CFO. All right, starting to maybe go here. So we got news finally. Remember last time? I mean, a switch up of CEO is going to be a lot different than CFO. So we'll find out what exactly is going on here right now. Oh, we have another stock, Zeus. What the heck is Zeus? Zeus Power right here. Zeus Power shares are trading higher after shareholders approve all proposals related to its $180 million private placement for Bitcoin Treasury. My bangs are not working because I don't have Stream Decks up. That was very, very anti-dramatic right there. So, Zeus International getting approvals for their proposals of a new treasury It's Bitcoin Treasury. All right, well, there goes Zoos right now, up 200% right there. Kablam. All right, well, there it is, man, 180 million. Like, come on, man. All these Bitcoin treasuries, Bitcoin's going down right now. I don't know, whatever. It's up to you guys to trade those treasuries if you want. To me, they don't make any sense whatsoever, and I don't know. I'm all there for the action.
They don't have to.
You guys saw Turbo. We showed you how that name ran. That was not Bitcoin, of course. So I think that there's a little bit more to actual stories than Bitcoins. But all right, so or treasuries, anyways. Where's that Cardano treasury, by the way? All right, so 422. That could be a short. This just looks too messy to me. Like Tesla yesterday, whoosh at the end of the day. I'm not sure what that was about. I mean, we saw the market give it up a little bit, obviously, but Tesla was a pretty dramatic move, right? I mean, we were hanging around 425 as the high and thinking like, okay, that might be something, and then like it just whap all the way to the downside. So I don't know. It's not looking great to me for a long, but I do think that everything they're talking about right here makes a lot of sense to me, man. They've been up 24% in the last month. So that's the part that I don't like as far as like potentially fading back a little bit. I think stocks just need to cool down. So it's already ripped through that level. That's a big congratulations. That's part of that 24% rate there. Elon Musk pay package, we'll see if that gets approved. There's huge levels that he has to get to, right? And so if he can meet that, then wow, the pay that's going to be coming his way, but also the pay that's going to be coming to shareholders of Tesla. I like the stock. I think we see all-time highs mid next year, maybe. Like that would be 10%, 420. Add $40 to that, you're right there. So I think Tesla just needs to go up 10%. Like it's not unbelievable that Monday we come in and Tesla's over $500. Like it's a 10% move. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. Not 10% from here. 10%
Maybe Tuesday.
Yeah. So 10% from here doesn't get you to 500, but that's the idea, is that it gets up to that level, and then we can go. So I think you're just a couple stories away. Like, do you want to be short when they release Optimus? No, you don't want to be short when they release the robo-taxis.
I think that's what people have been covering. It's why it's running already.
I just don't think that it is running already. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once these releases come, then we'll see what winds up happening. I think for right now, it's kind of just stuck. We'll wait to see if it breaks above that 450, and then we get into 480, and then we start talking about all that. So
these guys better not be stuck next. It's already $39 for 100 shares of Zoos. Oh, Zoos. Usually, see, every now and then when a stock just first pops up, like it just starts doing volume. So if you go to try to get the locates then, you might be able to snag them really cheap. Not that I'm intending on shorting it, but like if you can get them sometimes for like a few cents a share, then you just have them for the day. You don't have to use it, but it's already getting expensive on that Zoos. Hopefully, Apple's getting more expensive today. No? Yes.
Talking to Raheem. Raheem's bugging. Raheem's in India, messaging me right now. Come on, man. All right, Apple back to the upside here. We're right back to highs once again. iPhone 17 day has arrived. Sharif is very excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's on its way to my place right now, Brendo. I want to go home and pick it up. No, I'm kidding. So let's talk about the China demand, because that's where they've really been hurt the most. Apparently here, early demand has been quite robust. JD.com reported iPhone 17 pre-orders in the first minute, Brendo, surpassed the entire first day of volume for the iPhone 16 last year. They also reported trade-in sales were 4 times higher than they were last year. Customers cited many different reasons why they like these: a new design, improved heat dissipation, larger storage, premium features, whatever the deal is. They're buying them more, Brendo, and you're seeing that in China. You're not just seeing it in Asia, you're seeing it in London, the Middle East, as I mentioned, Dubai. The Dubai Mall had a lineup across the side, so good look.
Yeah, we'll see how things transpire as the days go by here for sales. Just reading the information reporting OpenAI continuing to raid both Apple and now continuing to raid Microsoft as well for hardware talent, manufacturing partners, and engineers, again, from the information, guys.
Yeah, it hasn't seemed to affect the stock yet. The poaching or the raiding, whatever we're calling it, like taking away the talent. But at the end of the day, like Apple's hasn't been investing like sort of directly in AI the way everyone else has, then maybe it's just how can it be that big of a hit for them if they're not utilizing certain talent in a certain way? So I think you got to look at it on its own and maybe look for the positives for the other companies that are getting the talent, because Apple doesn't seem to care. whenever we see these headlines. Now, obviously, there is a chance of release in China, sell the news type of event, but this is a hard one to ignore because Apple, we've been talking about consolidations. Well, Apple, it hasn't been up here at this 241 for very long, but the last time, it's a nice double top, clearly on the daily, 241.5. The dip got bought very quickly after the event. Like we anticipated, you sell the news when they did have the iPhone event, but it didn't really last very long. I kind of expected a little bit more, and it just didn't happen. So looking for a break today. I did have as a backup plan. We found a lot of support at the breakout price from Tuesday here at 237, like breakout there, and then support yesterday. In addition to 241.5 trying to go for a breakout. If that fails, there's always pre-market lows, but if we just end up going straight down, the long for me is going to be at 237. So this is the one I am taking a breakout trade on. I think the only breakout I have on the list is actually Apple.
Yeah, so I have Apple written on here as well. It's going to be a big trade, hopefully. Hopefully we don't mess up like we did yesterday. Well, we didn't mess up. We took the Google break yesterday, and that did not work. So we have the 241.50 long breaking out on strong iPhone 17 news. I mean, Sharif's waiting for it. The whole world's waiting for this thing. When you build a high-quality product and you have the base that you do with Apple, I think it's a winner here. Like yesterday we had Google. I mean, I'll just show you what happened to Google. It was the reason why... Not Blue Ocean. It was the reason why we stayed red pretty much all day. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Hope you're doing well there. I hope your chin is getting scratched properly. But all right, there it is. Thank you so much for that. But here we go. Yesterday we had that Google break, and it was right here. It was taking out all-time highs, and then this is what happened. Smack down, and this is what wound up happening. No, not a bag. Flush down there. But then we were able to catch that bottom right there near the pre-market lows. So we're able to make a little bit back, and then we kind of left it alone. We tried one more time at those lows again, and that failed. And then Google eventually, at the end of the day, kind of tried to rally. We saw Tesla go to the downside at the end of the day, Google making that way back up. So that was that problem right there, breaking the highs. So I almost feel some kind of ways now. Why didn't my chart change to Apple there? Oh boy. Okay, hold on a second. Change it over here. I kind of feel the same kind of ways for Apple right now, trying to break through. Let's go charts. There it is, trying to break through that daily level right there, 240. It's like 241.25, but let's make sure it goes this time. Let's not just exactly hit the top, but right there, it's 241. I don't want to take 241. I'm going to take 241.50 and then use 241 as my out. So I just don't want it to hit there and then whoosh us down again. So we'll wait. Let's make sure it does break, and then we'll get aggressive with it at 241.50. And then I think it can run up there 243-ish or change. That high's been 245. That's 240. That's the break that we're looking for right there. And if you have to go over to the daily, my bad, to see those kind of levels, right into here. So I think 245 plays maybe today if we're lucky enough to get that. And then if you really break uncontrollably, then you're going to look at all-time highs again of 250. Look, when I bought it down here, obviously I'm confident when I'm buying something, especially a big cap name that we're not buying ahead of earnings or anything like that. I was calling 250, man, and that we're going to get there. We're not, like, that's the price target. We're not that far away now. We don't even really have any AI news. So let's just keep this going. And I think the truck can be backed up for Apple even right now. It doesn't have, I have to check out what its historical PEs are. But this is a name that we keep on forgetting to look at whenever I'm, looking at PEs. But there it is, 29 right now with the Ford and 36. So a little bit expensive probably for Apple. That is more like a staple right now than like a growth stock, right? But I still like it. And again, if ETF buying continues to be a thing and passive investing, then Apple and Nvidia, the two largest positions in any ETF pretty much, will continue to move higher. So yeah, I love Apple. I love that break, and I'm there for it. My order's already in, so as long as it hits, then we'll go. Thank you so much, Natalia, for that talk there. That Sean's notes are always great. I appreciate it. I just hope they can continue to work out right now. Yeah, I thought the SPY PE was 22. I'll look that up as well. I'm not sure it's in our platform there for that, but yeah, I think the market's frothy. I'm not buying the SPY right now. I'm not buying Nasdaq. I'm not buying any of these names at all-time highs. I'm going to wait. I'm sitting on 10% cash. That's my always forever. So yesterday we raised a little bit more with Intel. We raised a little bit more last week with Palantir. We sold something else as well. So we're just keep on rotating it out and waiting for better opportunities. Like we got out of Palantir, bought some Marvell, you know. So I mean, things are working out for us right now. What is that, the historical? Oh, that's dividend history.
Hold on a second. No.
What is a website for historical PEs?
No,
there was a good Yahoo one.
It is this site.
There was macro trends.
Macro trends usually have it.
Go to debt to equity rate.
It's one
price
of
ratios right there,
Oh.
right beside where you are.
Here we go. Yeah, there it is. This should
there
have
it is. So
right?
what does it have? The historic.
P. It's a little high.
Yeah, there it is.
Why can't I? But you can't. I can't full screen this. I would love a resource.
Well, they can see that. They can
I know. I would love a resource where I could full screen the PE chart. Like this is free at Macro Trends. Like we're not sponsored by them, but the second you mentioned it, I was like, oh, let's see what it is. And it is a little bit.
Yeah.
It is a little bit high. Relative.
Type in SPY quickly.
Let's see if we can do SPY.
Can you do SPY over here?
Well, I've never tried.
It doesn't even come up.
No,
just do SPY and just go with it.
Just
see what happens. Apple?
Oh, okay, so I can't do SPY?
No, see, I
do
don't.
S&P? No.
Yeah, try the S&P. That's fine. See what it is for the last 10 years. Does it show it? S&P daily? No, you don't.
They might not have the ratio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think.
I would love to see if anybody does know a source where you can get maybe. I'm nothing against this site. I've used it before.
Yahoo
where you can see like a historical PE in a quality charting platform, just so you can maybe do some comparisons as well, like chart two symbols against each other. That would be really cool. But let's talk a little bit about a disappointing earnings name. Actually, it wasn't a disappointment until we came in this morning.
Yeah, it was this headline that sent this thing back to the downside, as Sharif was mentioning. $1 billion expected in cost on the de minimis policy change. So yeah, straight back down. We give it all back. Trying to bounce right now, though, for FDX.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad report, as I mentioned. Brendo, they beat on the top and bottom line. EPS 383, beating the estimates on revenue of $22.42 billion. Again, beating estimates. They took home about $820 million in net income, beating expectations, and up from the $790 that they took home last year. But that was the good news. Here's what's the problem. U.S. average daily package volume did rise 6%, but their FedEx freight segment continues to weigh on performance. Speaking of that freight segment, they're actually looking at spinning it off to become a publicly traded company by June of next year. So look for a possible spinoff. But as Brendo mentioned, it was really that headwind from the removal of the de minimis duty exemption, $800 and under. Timushi, and they all take advantage of that, Brendo.
I think the bright spot or the positive on this is we typically look at these FedEx, UPS shippers in general as more of an economic bellwether.
Yes.
So some of the positives that they had to say, maybe a good sign of things to come here for the overall economy.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll have to go with, because as Sharif mentioned, the de minimis, it's not good, it wasn't certainly good for them, and at the end of the day, maybe there's just some kind of a rule that it has to get sold off at 245 on the stock for the last few months, because that's just like, it's so, like, when I see a level like this, you're thinking to yourself, okay, this just gapped right into 245, like bang, 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 4 times on the daily, distinct top with clean reversals. This, if it breaks out, that's going to be a great continuation trade on earnings, and then it rejects it one more time. But the other thing is, maybe somebody wasn't done accumulating at $225. That's the other side of the coin. And that maybe that's why we're down. So you can see all of the support FedEx has. If it holds on to this, another run at 245, 8.25 seems pretty likely. That said, yeah, when I went to bed last night, or well, not really, when I was on the train and kind of seeing this, my first thought was, oh, this is going to actually be a trade for a continuation breakout. And because it cannot take out that 245, and we're like $20 away from it right now, throw that out the window, because so much for that continuation play. Disappointing that there was no follow through here for FedEx. Yeah, maybe we'll come back to this next week and it looks better.
Look, I'm disappointed that we don't have Intel written down on the board today. That seems strange. Already 10 million shares. Intel right here goes boom yesterday to the downside right now, and it's trying to hold this level of $30. Now, will it do it? I don't think it will, but we're going to wait to see if Intel does. Yeah, so first of all,
there's a few symbols.
Yeah, our symbols are off, because this is not, I don't think, oh no, this one might be down 1%, right? It closes at 15, I'm not sure. Some of our prices might be, our
what does this say?
Numbers might be off, but that's $30.60. It's $30.20, down 30 cents on a $30 name. Yeah,
looks
okay,
right.
it's close enough. But anyways, okay, so it's that this one's right. But if Intel continues to move down, this is my #1 trade on the sticky note today. And if you actually go back, it goes back on the daily. And we talked about this yesterday again on the market recap show. So I think that's obviously pretty important to watch if you're looking for key levels and what to look for. But I was just looking at right into here. This, whoops, okay, settle down chart right here. So that's the shelf right now that we've had a problem breaking through, right? I mean, we broke through it yesterday at the top side of it, 33.50. Wow, I mean, I can't believe that was up that high. And then right into here, if we can break that, then I'm looking to go short 29.75. I think 30 is a good short, but again, I just want confirmation. We'll go short 29.75, then use 30 as our out. But right into there, this break back down in for me on Intel, it could hold and be a crazy long. So I mean, it's any way you're looking at it, $29.75 to $30 is a level, and that's what we're right now debating with on Intel. I'm going to minimize that and just show you. So that's what's happening right now. You know, it's thinking about it. It thought about it at 130 yesterday and didn't break and went up about 75, 80 cents off of that level. And then right into there now, it's debating this break again. So we do have quantum names on here in QBTS, and we have Nvidia coming up. So we'll talk more tech plays shortly. But this is my #1 trade for today. So let's just go see if it winds up working out. Hey, may not. And if it doesn't, we have an out. So we're going to wait to play that short there on Intel and figure it out from there. So I'm looking short on INTC today. Let's go back over. We only have 9 minutes now. This went pretty quickly.
Yeah, quick look at some of these quantum names. Pretty wild day yesterday. I mean, volatile both directions for QBTS, someone's trigger happy over there. We're back to the downside here for QBTS this morning. Some of the other names, though, gave you lots of opportunity yesterday.
Rigetti and D-Wave were also strong, Brendo, yeah. IONQ. So there's a couple of catalysts here. I mean, they're not without catalysts. So you got IONQ kind of announcing, fresh advancements at their Qubits 2025 conference. Rigetti, for their part, they secured a $45 million defense contract. And D-Wave Systems, they made strides in annealing-based systems. But when you look at the market cap of these companies, obviously still very nascent, $25 billion market cap for IONQ compared to $3 trillion, obviously, on Nvidia. So no overlook there. But they are breaking out and explosive breakouts over the past 2 weeks. For example, Brendo, IONQ was trading in the 40s. Now it's above 70 a couple of weeks later. So good breakout.
Yeah, I mean, these things continue to, I was just going out to a daily chart here. These things continue to just ramp to the upside, all-time highs again yesterday, guys.
Yeah, Rigetti was the one that we were on yesterday, and that made an all-time high breakout. I don't know about the continuation today. It's down only 1 point. I should double check to make sure that one's also correct. But yeah, it broke away from that 23 level to be able to get to 26. I like the fact that it's holding a higher low, but all these have this same profile. Like you pull back and we're like underneath the close. Like a resumption to me, at least minimum needs to hold 25. Otherwise, maybe we have that whole third day pullback mode. I'm not really thinking short on these names either. Like the name I'm actually looking for continuation on doesn't even have a catalyst, and that's actually Palantir. And most of the reason is just going back to the Fed day. Like I think the things that went the most after Fed, I'm going to prefer a little bit, and that had the biggest reversals, maybe catching the most people off guard on Wednesday, and then it had that big ramp up early, and then a great look off of the volume weighted average price to continue. That was at about 174. So that volume weighted average price yesterday and the accumulation at 174, it was a great long into the afternoon. I'm looking first level there, and then back. What did I write down? Double check. Yeah, it's adjacent to 172. I mean, this bottom's like 170, 160. But those are the two levels I'm looking to dip by on Palantir. So I don't have the same feeling that we did about the quantum names on a Friday. I think they made a pretty big move for a third day in a row. I think you get that little bit of a short hangover, and then you come back next week and are more interested. So I'll probably be looking at Palantir, not the quantum.
There's some talk about BBAI. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Yeah, so I was just looking at this. This is pretty ominous here. I think that could be sort of a blow off top right there. I mean, the fact that we extended out into $25, $26 made a huge top wick candle there on Rigetti on the daily, and then now today it looks like we're going to turn around and go red. I don't know, it looks similar to, I'm going to sneeze. Ooh. But up. It's almost the exact look as what we had back here in December, and then we topped out, and then we did this. So I don't know. I mean, these companies aren't making any money. It's a future play. There's no doubt about that. And I like the space, and I love this 50-period moving average. But if you're going to look at something and say, hey, man, stock prices have patterns in memory, then, I mean, right up to there, wick top, then right back down. That is almost looking similarly to this. Now, the difference is we based out here, and there was some demand on the buy side down here between $14 to $16. So I mean, to say that this thing is going to drop down 70% from now and get back down to $16, that wouldn't be 70%. That would be, what kind of math am I doing? That would be 30%. So 30% move down there for Rigetti is possible for sure. Likely, I don't know, but that's the way the chart looks to me. So I think if you're enjoying this run up, just like I did on Intel yesterday, it doesn't mean that I think Intel's done. I just think there's had to be money taken off. So, you know, enjoy that huge move, man. Rigetti right now, $16 back in September 14th. Yeah, whatever, at the beginning of the week, so it's Friday. So you've gotten right now a 35% move in a week. So you tell me if that's pigs get slaughtered. But I like the stock. I think it's probably profit taking today. That's it, man. Quantum names continue to be pretty strong in the market, and I wouldn't go short them. I'm just waiting for better opportunities. Intel, even though it's a buy and balance, started to go down. There's Nvidia with the buy and balance as well, not really doing anything. Apple. But if you're going to look here, look at all the buys. You know, tech, Pfizer, Microsoft. There's NIO's, but had a huge run up as well. But these are not that exciting, considering that it's in balance day. I thought they would have been a little bit juicier than that. But Apple says yes, sir, to that, and starting to go back upside right now into 241. So there's that level that I was talking about. So we'll have to wait to see if that opens up here and takes out 241 and change. So 926 right now, 4 more minutes.
All right, back higher once again this morning for Nvidia. Big day yesterday on that Intel headline. Nothing significant today. This was kind of interesting. $500 million to UK autonomous driving startup Wave from Nvidia. So continuing to branch out on the autonomous driving side of things. But what a day for both Intel yesterday and Nvidia.
Oh, absolutely a big day for more obviously for Intel. $5 billion, not too much for Nvidia now. So they have another headline as well, Brando. They paid about $900 million in cash and stock to acquire a company called Infabrica and basically take over the CEO and his team, while also licensing the startup's networking technology. So this allows NVIDIA to kind of secure talent and IP without the regulatory hurdles of acquiring a company outright. So here's what Infabrica does. So it builds right into their moat. They develop hardware solutions that connect over 100,000 of NVIDIA's GPUs into a unified cluster that kind of delivers integrated AI systems that operate as a single supercomputer. And that's what we're seeing the Chinese do. They're using these Huawei Ascends that are much less individually strong as a performer relative to maybe the H100, but they're putting 200,000-300,000 of them together. And apparently together, Brendo, they can kind of achieve similar results to using NVIDIA's chips, but on a smaller scale.
Never ends. The progression never ends. We mentioned this yesterday. AMD was super weak on the day. We did climb back, a little more than 50% of that, we'll call it, by the end of the day. Bank of America, guys, with a positive note today on AMD, saying, hold on a minute, maybe they could also benefit from this Intel-NVIDIA tie-up.
Yeah, from the open, AMD was the strongest chip stock. Yep. From the open, it didn't actually get green. It came really, really close to being able to get green on the back of that headline. As Sean mentioned, there is a sell imbalance on Nvidia. It's still, buy imbalance on Nvidia, still 1.5, and then Apple and Intel, Microsoft. They're all very small, but all buy imbalances here, with the notable exception of QBTS. But Nvidia 177. Obvious sort of resistance area here for Nvidia, but I wouldn't get that too twisted. I think on a Friday, clearly the inventory is above 178 to 180. 178 to 180. I think that's a bit of a fade zone here for Nvidia. I think you had trouble getting through that today, so on any strength, this is one I'd be looking in the other direction. But it would have to pop to get up there.
Okay, so just real quick, I have 155 written down for AMD. Hopefully that gets going through there. And NVIDIA yesterday they put in $5 billion into Intel, and they gained, you know how much they gained in market cap? $180 billion. So invest $5 billion, get $180 billion in one day. So yeah, I mean, I think it benefits Nvidia to be tied up a little bit with Intel there, gets them, and just an investment into Intel, right? It's not like, I mean, I don't know, is there going to be a partnership that's coming from this as well? Intel hasn't necessarily blown their whole business out of the water. They still have some strong PC business there. So we'll see if that can benefit Nvidia. Today, 177 breakout. I'm not on it. I'm more on dip buys into into AMD at 155. So if we could get that, AMD was such a strong name yesterday. All day yesterday, AMD just kept on whoosh. All day, upside, upside, upside. So if we can get a dip down, and I put 155 right here. If that dips in, I'm not sure. Like when I wrote it down, we were at 156. So now you're up to 158, and it continues to climb higher. Apple's going to go right off the open here, so I don't know what to tell you. It's going to blast higher. I'm going to try to take it, but we only have 30 seconds left, and then that order will go through. So yeah, we're getting ready to rock and roll right now.
Yeah, it's your last opening bell of the weekend. It is brought to you today by VinFast, VFS on the index. Check him out, scan that QR code if you get a chance. The market is now open. We didn't get a chance to talk about Reddit, but we'll get to that one in a little bit later because I think, as you said, Apple is going to blow out that top pretty much right away, I do think.
And here goes Intel. Intel's going down as well. So which one do we have first? Which one? We have Apple right now, but Apple's going to the downside right now after breaking. Now I've got some feels again about yesterday when we had that move downside in. So I got to sum out right there. We had that move downside in Google. So yeah, not great right now to start, but we'll wait. Here it goes. Okay, which one? Now hopefully it goes upside. Yeah. Yes, Apple. Here we go. This is the trade of the day again right there. So right now we're already making more than we lost on Google yesterday. So here we go. Let's get some more outs. Yes. There it goes. Boom for Apple. Let's go right there. So we lost yesterday. We win today. Nice move there for Apple. I'm already out of half. Like I don't want to play. Yesterday we had lost on that. We're out of half right now.
I think that's a play. It's a Friday, remember. I took out 3/4. It's a Friday, so opening wicks can be obviously crazy on a witching day. Also want to note here, Palantir did go. And when I said Reddit had a big topping tail candle. I'm looking short Reddit. Oh, never mind. I just got short Reddit. Put that one in the note. Again, Reddit's had a pretty solid run the last little bit. But breaking down after what was a strong session, it was a big reversal on Reddit. It just did a flat bottom break through that 268. So we're going to try to get some out in front of 66 and see where this one can go. It's been a good run for Reddit, but it looks like it made a bit of a top. A lot of stocks have that pattern where they made a bit of a topping tail.
Okay. Wow. All right. Boom. That was a good trade. So we got some more out right now as it just came back up to 242. I want to be flat on this, and I don't really want to mess around with it, but where our stop is going to be on Apple, like yesterday, it was the 200 period that wound up holding for Google. So see as this pulls right back in again. So yeah, 240 breakdown would be too big of a hit. Like we don't want to give back everything. If the most we're gonna, all right, this doesn't even want to go. I'm gonna put an offer again at 90 here. Hopefully there we go. We just got it. But yeah, I don't want to turn this one into a disaster. So that's 241 right there. Let's give it a little bit more room. That's 240.75. Okay, well now I'm waiting at 25, so hopefully we can get that. And then that will be the end of the trade for me, and then we'll wait. So there it is. Yes, sir. This is a money trade, Neil, right there. We are now 2 times our daily goal right there on this trade alone. So let's just wait to see. Again, of course, position pending. Just so you guys know, a third left only. That was a big out for me there at 242.25. All right, Intel. Lucky that we didn't we almost got absolutely destroyed on Intel. Like, yeah, because it came 8 cents away from me punching into a monster position short. And thankfully, that didn't happen because I would have given away everything we made on Apple on the Intel short. But Apple right now, so thank you, Intel, for doing that. But there goes Apple right now. My next offer, you know what? I can't. 240, this is just my bad, guys. This is who I am. I have to get something out. There it is, 240.240s. We'll take another out right there. My next out, and hopefully we'll be able to hold out for this one, is 243. So if we can get up, yes, Neil, this is look, I was debating not coming in because I wasn't feeling 100%, but I want to come in. I want to be able to be here and trade with everybody. And there it goes, right there to the upside goes Apple. So yes, sir. Happy, joy on that one. I'm going to cancel my Intel short break right now just because, and we'll let that settle down. Intel right now is just kind of bouncing around here. It's not doing what I thought it would do. I thought there would be a little bit more action on INTC, so the fact that there isn't, I step away, and then I'm going to throw over to Neil in 1 second.
That Zeus is halted.
What
now.
AMD is doing. Okay, not much there. So there it is. What's up, Bobby Axelrod?
Yeah, a bit of a turn there in Apple, but Zeus is now halted to the downside, everybody. This is the thing. Play those crypto treasury plays with your own risk. Like, just, it's at your own risk, I should say. Obviously, you play everything with your own risk, but at your own risk and at your own peril, because I think the ones that are non-Bitcoin seem to be a little bit more interesting in terms of upside. Zeus, as I said, halted to the downside. We're going to end up losing trend. I got to follow my rule, and if I can get out Apple here under that 242, get out. I'm only in Reddit, and then, of course, that Apple trade. If we lose the breakout price, I'm jumping out. Anytime you get past that first move up, well, I'm not short. That'll just code as a short sell because I had to take profit out there. Now, anytime we lose that reversal on a Friday, I want to jump out of it. But I wanted to get to that Zeus, and we've said this before. No one ever went broke taking profit. Okay, so this is now halted at 377. Open price 357, indicating the open, and this was a $3 stock before. Sorry, $250 before, and now absolutely cratering. Still up 61%, so you can still make money in theory if you get out of it. But with the halt, who knows? It could open $1 lot higher, $1 lower, whichever. Just want to quickly show target is 262 on Reddit. I'm just going back to 2 days ago where it broke out from this price. So my targets is 262 on RDT. On RDDT. And one more thing before I throw back to Sean, don't forget that Robinhood effective tonight is going the S&P. It's already starting to run. I'm not like auto thinking long in this. I was kind of hoping it would do a crazy dip and then you could buy it going into the afternoon. But Robinhood already on the move to the upside in a essentially flat market.
Nice play on Reddit there for sure. Yeah, so we're going to stay strong, and this is what we talked about. We talked about this yesterday, and I thought about what I said yesterday about how 95 to 98% of day traders are not successful, but that's why we created the show is to show you guys that if you can have discipline, just like what Neil just did there. He said he's getting out once it breaks 241.50. Like that's the kind of stuff. That's why we created the show. That's what, when I try to talk like that, it's talking that, like, if you just jump in there and go crazy on all these names like that Zeus or something like that, and you don't have a plan that works, that you've ridden before, that you've done stuff like that before, that's what really creates the negative feels and the unsuccessful. I mean, just look at anybody here. Are you going to get results at the gym if you go there, couple times a week, and then you take a month off, and then you go back, and then it's like you gotta be disciplined with whatever you're doing, your family, your diet, like anything. Trading is the same kind of thing. So stick with your rules. Stick with some kind of discipline, and if you can do that, then hopefully at the end of the day you look back and you think about, all right, let me look at my trade list, let me look at my P&L over the past couple months, et cetera. What could I do differently? How could I turn myself into a more successful trader? And that's what we talk about. And I don't know there's many channels or anything out there that does what we do. So that's why I always want to preface the fact that, is it a fact that most traders will lose? Yes. But is it possible that you can win? Yes, as well. And there's no way that we have 100% of all traders watching this show, which is why I keep on saying stuff like that, because we can all learn from each other and we can all learn and grow. So I'm going to watch out for this break right there of 241. That's going to be my stop. I'm out right now of about 75%, so holding about a quarter of this. And sure, we've gotten more and more out here at VWAP. It doesn't look like it wants to break 242. So if it doesn't want to go upside, then we have to punch out and get out before this goes too far downside. So here it comes right now, Apple making the moves lower.
So I heard a headline, and I'm just going to try to say it the best I could when I was trying to listen to it. AMC had a bit of a volume spike and a pump. It had something to do with a special, like,
AMC.
Something Taylor Swift related, which is why it's like something from Hollywood. I think Adara should probably have it, but AMC did a huge volume. Like, it's giving it back now, but a potential Taylor Swift tie up there. Let's go back to Adara.
Yes, people are thinking there's going to be a secret. I guess it started with the Hollywood Reporter that there's going to be reportedly, potentially, a secret theatrical release on October 3rd. I'm guessing of Taylor Swift's movie because it doesn't speculate, but it says apparently the article from The Hollywood Reporter also brings multiple sources that speculate this is being done through a partnership with AMC, and apparently some accounts from Taylor Swift fans have actually flagged that certain AMC theaters have dates blacked out on the 3rd. So either way, a lot of this seems to be a bit speculative, but there is, again, rumor and speculation. There's going to be some kind of theatrical release here with AMC and Taylor Swift. If I get more details, I'll let you know. Back to you.
All right, so huge news for obviously for AMC.
Yeah, like and anything that could squeeze it, I think is possibly interesting. But it wasn't moving as much as I was anticipating. We have to cancel, slap the fail, and cancel our dip buy on Palantir because, well, if candles are all green off of the open, you're probably not going to get a dip buy. At least that's what my mother told me at some point. Fortunately, it's doing the same thing. We always want stocks to go up for everybody, so congratulations if you have Palantir. This is exactly what it did yesterday, just one shot straight to the upside, but there were chances to get in. It did pull back early and then twice into VWAP, or 3 times into VWAP in the afternoon, so you had chances to get in, and now the prior high lines up around VWAP at 178, so I have to start looking at the prior high. And this was... It told everybody 2 days ago, the market told everybody when it rallied more than anything on Fed Day. Well, not more than anything, but it was the biggest rally that I saw in the afternoon, and that was a bit of a hint that the buyers are coming in. I gotta respect. All right, if we're gonna talk about being rules based.
Yep.
This is supposed to be like a head and shoulders setup, but if it's finding support on Reddit exactly where all of the prior liquidity was, then to me, it's take what you can get and don't be upset with the move here on Reddit, because it doesn't seem like it wants to hold or break down any further, at least from what I can see. There's always a chance to get back in at some point, but yeah, I'm going to see if I can't just take the win on the rest of this on Reddit. It's finding support here. If you break down further through 247 or 264, there's a lot more room, but that's a lot of liquidity to ignore on this 15-minute chart right around that 265, 266. So the breakdown worked, but really I didn't get it till it took 68 when the breakdown was at 69. So you missed the first dollar. You can't just say, well, I'm going to get more. No, I mean, the move ends up being 68 to 65. And if you don't, 69 to 65, and if you get in at 68, you got in at 68, you can't extend it another dollar just because you got in a bit late.
The Intel short is working, so yeah, sirens up for that one that anybody took it, but I wasn't looking at it at the pre-market high. We're looking at it on a break lower right now of 29.75. So it looks like it's trying to go through the low of the day. We used Apple at 240. Okay, it's going to go 240.75. So it looks like it is going to break lower. But we just took an opportunity on a bounce back up there to get out more in the 30s. So it looks like there it is. We're going to lose Apple. So there goes Apple. Hey, look, man, it's a positive stock, but it's nowhere near obviously what we thought it could have been earlier. And it just stopped again. So there we go. I mean, I don't know. But there it is. We have a new position right now. It's Intel. So let's see if this disaster of a story. Look, I'm glad that we sold some yesterday, man. We did it live on the show. I talked about why I sold some, and we sold some about $1 ago. So now the fact that it's down 3%, feel a little bit better about my Intel position right now. And again, we talk about raising capital and cash just to sit there. So we'll see. I mean, Intel could still be much higher, obviously, come next week. So we'll wait. But here we go. I lowered the amount of shares that we took on this. It wasn't a early break. I mean, it's still 940. So, you know, the break is still imminent right here for this trade. But we're in it right now. This is what we wanted. So we're into Intel short. Let's see if it can print a little bit for us. The VWAP and everything is at $30 right now. So that might be a little high to wait for that to come back upside there. But yeah, shorting in and around 30 if we have to average in. Let's average in like a quarter of our position if it does come back up to there. So right now, let's let Intel just go a little bit. The pre-market, some of these pre-market lows, I don't start the pre-market until 7 o'clock. Someone actually asked me about that yesterday. 29.50 right there for a little bit of a downside play for Intel. So I'm gonna put an offer now at 65, and then I'm gonna put one down at 55, and then we'll see what winds up happening. But we're short Intel right now, and hopefully it continues to work out for us. Market not doing a whole heck of a lot, Neil. You're not in any.
SOFI is gone.
Yeah.
Again.
I do have an offer for Palantir at 180.
It just hit.
It did. Okay, so bang.
180.10.
I had it at 180 exactly. So
Okay, yeah. Kind of under my breath, I was like, Palantir broke 180.
Yeah, we got some out at 160. I just put it out at 180 because the all-time highs are 192, something like that, right there on Palantir. But wow, what a move up there for 190. Look what eSignal has, 190 flat. Come on, pull down. 190 flat right there as an all-time high for our boy Palantir. So yeah, not bad there at all. So good trading there.
Look at these rocket
LTR, man. Yeah, what's going on?
SOFI,
wow,
4%,
we like that.
just absolutely blasting.
Hopefully
we already
JP
just showed you guys
Morgan's
Palantir. SOFI, that's 52-week high. So check that, all-time highs. I got to get used to saying that again. All-time highs for SOFI. It's a monster. We showed you guys a monthly chart on this sucker last week or yesterday and every other day after that. But, got to move on. I'm not chasing that move. It was on the list yesterday, but it wasn't today.
Get down, Intel.
BBAI is not going to give us $6 today. BBAI just broke out. So prior high will be the play. If we're not dipping into 6, then we're dipping into the prior high on BBAI. Just got to be a bit patient. Palantir now 180.30. I mean, Apple, I don't mind the notion of trying to get back into Apple, but yeah, it's maybe not yet. Not yet. It's still a little bit early. Not going to get back into this one just yet. I mean, the breakout trade was good, but it feels like we're still in a little bit of a pullback mode. So here's what I want everyone to do. Make sure when you're putting it in, flat right now, it's a good chance to do it. Make sure when you're putting symbols in the chat, everybody hit that $ first. Obviously, SOFI, we just talked about. Open Door, we haven't looked at. BBAI, we just did. AGMH, see, I don't know what that is. AGMH. RR, of course, we know Intel, Sean's in. Tesla, we've talked about. But unfortunately, AGMH, that's one I am unfamiliar with. I was going to, like I said, I'm hoping a next trade might be in BBAI if it'll pick me back up off that prior high. But I'll try to figure out what's, we'll visit back into that in a few minutes to see what's at the top of the list. But for me, it's BBAI.
I just have to tell you guys, we got another fill in our own account. So we got 2 fills this morning. We got BBAI at 650, and we got, this is in our swing account. So we're long at $4 on Big Bear AI from before. And we talked about this trade a long time ago. So we're long BBAI from this move. So we got some out the first time. I'm doing exactly what we did last time. 650, 750, 850. So 650 just filled on Big Bear AI for me. So that was a good trade. And then 750 is my next offer, and 850 is the one after that. Hey man, we're going to take 55% or whatever it was. We're long at like 4. I think it's near 420. I've talked about that before. So, good trade there. We'll take 250 on $4. So nice move there on Big Bear AI. And oh boy, here we go. Let's go Intel. Again, the top 2 trades today are the top 2 trades for me. Obviously, we only have 2, Apple and Intel. Someone early said, hey, Sean, where are the trade ideas? There's Intel 29.75 short, that's been printing not all morning, but since we have it. And then Apple right there, the long is still, I'm still up more on Apple than I'm up on Intel, but that's only because we've only covered 20% of INTC. All right, Adara, what you got for us?
What I have here is Google, GeoOGL, making comments here on the DOJ's ad tech decision. They're proposing some changes to the company. Google saying that their proposed changes from the DOJ go far beyond the court's liability decision, and that they disagree with the court's initial decision and plan on appealing it. This is from Google's website. So DOJ, or I guess Google, sorry, not pleased with this DOJ ad tech decision. I also do want to let you guys know there is no economic data coming through at 9:45. Well, it's already past 9:45, of course, and 10 a.m. Though at 11 a.m. we will get comments from new Feds Myron. So Feds Myron with his first speech here at 11 a.m. Stay tuned. Back to you.
Much there. We did get 3 super chats. P. Lucid, thank you for the super chat. No. But we'll just say thank you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. One of them just disappeared. Willis Addison, yes, sir. 1060 per contract on your Oklo swing calls locked in. Congratulations. You're done for the day. Gone fishing on a boat. Oh, yeah, don't make us jealous. Don't tell us you're going fishing. Hey, enjoy yourself, man. And the fact open is down with positive news tells the story. That's Mike Williams. Thank you for the super chat. Puts in my future. Get out while you can. So thank you for that. I have not looked at open. We will look at that in just a little bit. But I want to give a big shout out to Beta Pro. Why? Because Canadian traders, all of you out there, Beta Pro by Globe X is bringing back its annual biggest winner simulated ETF trading competition now with over $40,000 in cash prize, including 20 grand grand prize, $20,000 grand prize, and it's all risk-free. Because to enter, if you're Canadian, it's free to all and open to all Canadians. Trade with $100,000 in fantasy cash on the Webull platform. Whether you're an experienced trader or just getting started, it's a chance to test your strategies and build skills while climbing the leaderboard. So, you think you have what it takes to be the next biggest winner? Sign up, scan the QR code you see in front of you, and good luck to all. Jumping back over to the speaking of Beta Pro, the Baird one, which is Big Bear AI. Yeah, the thing about dipping into the volume weighted average price is it's not dipping. 2 days ago would give us, it was 2 days ago. 90% sure it was 2 days ago where you got all of the dips that you wanted. Yeah, it was. You got the dips in the morning, you got the dips in the afternoon. Yesterday it gave you the dip at the open. Today it doesn't. So sometimes you try to play the pattern and you don't get it. Play back into the prior high is all I'm looking for. Next, we did jump out of Reddit. Still not liking the re-entry into Apple. I mean, Reddit's holding, it's still at 265, but it did eventually break and go to 64, but it's right back to the 265. Apple's trying to go again. It's starting to look a little bit better. It's still well underneath VWAP here, which is a bit weird. I guess that's because it did so much open volume. But at the end of the day, maybe wait for this to look like a close of breaking this trend. It's still too early for a trend break. I don't like that setup just yet. So I'm going to focus maybe on that BBAI. Palantir is now so far gone that I'm probably at this point I'm probably looking for some kind of mean reversion on Palantir. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, MPW on watch, Medical Properties Trust. This name is $5, but it's not a small cap in the traditional sense. This is a $3 billion market cap, roughly 33% short float. I'm not seeing any news on this move, guys, but MPW, Medical Properties Trust on watch, and back to you.
Oh man, thank you, Adara. Damn it. All right, so it's too bad that it's not too bad that it didn't break earlier, because on Intel, like I switched my shares. I had a bigger share size if it was going to break early, and I'm glad it didn't, because we would have got smoked on that. But then there it goes right now, finally starting to go, and this is what we're doing right here. We're at the highest spot. I'm up more now than I was with that great trade, the runner there on Apple, sorry. But there's the breakdown, and this is where at 29.75. So we're covering now in the 50s on Intel and just letting it go, because you know what? Just like my guy over there gone fishing, we're gone fishing right now mentally. We've hit our goals. We're still going to sit here and trade, but I don't need to put more risk into anything right now. The day is sort of made, and let's just wait to see what winds up happening. Apple is making its move back up, and I was going to get back into the long at some point, and was looking at maybe this break again of VWAP in the 70s there. That's kind of where we went the first time, and it went. Yesterday Google bounced off the 200 period moving average. We could have been a little bit more diligent with it. Too bad I was just championing the Intel short and not really looking over here. But that was a great opportunity right there to dip by again into Apple. So we'll let it settle. All right, so I'm only out of half of Intel right now. So I'm going to put another bid right now at, we just buy 59s. And now we're going to have to wait. I'm not sure. The market's ripping right now.
Oklo's going.
Yeah, I mean, there's many different names here, but like we say, it just takes one.
This is a squeeze.
And the day's there, but yeah, Oklo's there. iBit right now not doing much.
SMR's up 8.
SMR is up 8%.
Oklo is going nuts. Like Oklo's up 13 or 12%. OKLO and continuing to rally 13%. It was 12% a minute ago when I checked it, and then SMR is also going. Now, 9% to the upside on SMR.
Yes.
Obviously ridiculously strong for some of these nuclear names. Let me just check, see is it the entire space? No, it's just the frothy ones, because Vernova's not doing a thing. It's actually flat on the day. Ooh, I just heard something about okay.
Is spiking.
Yeah, Nano, this is the other one going. NNE, I always forget about this. NNE, also going 11% to the upside. BBAI doesn't seem to want to pull back. But I just remembered the $10 level on Open Door. Remember yesterday, $10 was the only place that was worth going long? Today, instant failure underneath 10, and look at that. Here, I'll zoom in. And this is a real pop where it tried to get back to 10 and then just flushed. So 9.95, and then the sellers came in. So it looks like today is is not open for business here today. So underneath $10. Yesterday I was only long over 10. I think today it's a short. Hopefully we get BBAI pulling back and letting us into this upward trend. But yeah, open door underneath $10. Kind of an easy out if it breaks VWAP, because that's exactly $10.
Right, so just because Intel's not going, I'm going to get out at 298, I wish, 29.85, like that little break there. This is the 21 period moving average. We do have some top breaks there, so if it does go back down, we just take another 60 fill here and wait to see what's going on with INTC. Hopefully more downside, right? I mean, that's what we're hoping for right now. I have a bid at 50 and then I have a bid at 40. So hopefully that will fill and we don't have to worry about it. I have my stop in there again. I am going to go long on a break of 241.75, but there comes Apple.
It's
pushing back down in pretty dramatically right now. So maybe watching out for that 240 fill, but it's coming in nicely right here. So I don't know what just happened to Apple. I'm going to take away that dip buy or that bid now and try to see if we can play off of some kind of a dip buy now. So I don't know, that was a little bit too much of a move there for me to say, hey, I'm so confident that if it runs and punches that top, then we're going to get out. So we'll watch out for all of those plays coming in here. The trade rate right now on e-signal has Apple near the top, ADAP, that's a 20-cent name. Micron down 5% today, wow. Open Door down 1.5%. Nvidia right now up slightly at 176. We had an AMD trade at 155. That's not there yet. Tesla 430, congratulations on that one, up 3% there as well. The Nasdaq continues to climb higher here too. So there it is, yes sir. We get our Intel. So Intel right now at the lowest spot it's been at all day right now. Breaking back below, there it is, man, spin it. It's the money trade right there for me on Intel. And again, as it was written, right? I mean, we talked about wanting that trade, so we took it, and there it comes. Now, okay, now we're really starting to go. Let's go. We're bidding 41s. Yes, go. There it is, Neil. That's your chicken winner of the day, chicken dinner winner of the day right there. It's Intel, and it is just making the moves lower right now. A $30 name. We're in the money 30 cents. Let's see if it gets even lower than this. Good take there at 4. We told you we're at 40, so decent take right there at 40. Super glad I came in today now. Good winner on Apple. Could have been better. And a much bigger winner here for me now on Intel. We've made double on Intel what we've made on Apple so far. So pretty happy and just waiting for this name to continue lower. And I'm just glad, more importantly, I'm glad I sold Intel yesterday in the account. So that helped. What we do here on the show is prop trading.
Day trading.
Yeah, day trading, prop trading here. So, getting out in my PA of a quarter there on Intel yesterday, or 20%, looks to have been the right decision. Will we buy back in? Probably not. But we'll see what happens. The Intel story's not over. Boeing right now down 0.22. That's a story for sure today as well. Is there news on Boeing? No, I mean I don't mean a story. I just mean it's down. I think it can get going there. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Boeing. I think if Boeing can get into
it's nowhere close.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. I thought it was moving a little more than it was, but yeah. Okay.
I'm stink bidding this one close to $200.
Okay. Yeah.
Anybody that watches the show probably wouldn't have too much trouble guessing where I am stink bidding in my personal account on Boeing. If you can't guess, then again, you just don't know how my silly mind works. But it should be relatively obvious. I am into BBAI for the first time here today. As it dipped, it doesn't get to VWAP, which, I mean, VWAP's a line on a chart. So I'm looking to buy the dip into the volume weighted average price. But as I said, it's a line on the chart. The prior day high is a wick on the chart. It did a bottoming tail here at 47. So I got in at 48.5. And I actually got a midpoint print. I'll only buy more if we start getting a green, like on the other side of the V. So I'm willing to get in again. But half in now, and if we get a nice bounce and some kind of a curl on BBAI, then I can add back into it. Open Door did not come and pick me up in front of that $10 area, unfortunately. So it's now breaking the lows on Open Door. This has a lot of room underneath the 10s we mentioned yesterday. It didn't quite follow through. Like yesterday, it got like 10 to 975. Today, it looks like it's going to follow through. You could see 925 if this continues to go down. So it is a bit of a flat bottom break here. I'd rather not take the break, but if that's all I can get, it would have to be 970 and then give it back to the prior low, about 15 pennies. I'm still trying to get picked up underneath 10 bucks, ideally. That's the plan of action. But if we break the low, then I take the low break and give it back in here to like 980, call like 83 or 84.
I'm actually going to, before I go over to Palantir, go ahead.
QUBT is number 3 on the list right now. Okay. Like right now, Open we just talked about, SOFI, Oklo, we've been over, but the quantum names, QUBT up 18% and just absolutely ham. Wanted to make sure we got this because this is pulling back for the first time as well. There's so many runners. This one is not all-time highs, but it is breaking out a very significant level, which is at least trying to hold this $21.50 level here on QUBT. So it seems like every single day we have these small cap runners going ham. Another one here in the quantum space. Quantum and nuclear both flying around. Was that Adara? No?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just, wow. I'm checking out Palantir here. Like, it's getting to be a very, very big position right now, and I'm getting a little nervous here. Palantir. So back up through 180 and change again. Like this name, you know, Andrew left, beat it down for a minute. Obviously covered down into there, into the 50-period moving average. We say buy stocks that you like, and you know, Palantir again, another 2 and a bit percentage points right there, back up to the upside. I did cover some more Intel right now down there at 29.50 and change. So we'll wait to see. Oh no, sorry, 55s. We'll wait to see if it makes new lows. But just so you guys know this, I only have 20% left. Now a little bit more than that, but 22, 23% left right there on Intel. Yeah, what's up, 221B? You got Palantir at $34. Great, man. I mean, if you've been watching the show, we're long Palantir at its direct listed price, and it even went lower than 920. So Palantir right there, what a monster trade for anybody on the PLTR train. And we talk about PEs all the time. I told you that joke about my kid. Told me to go find some good PEs. But yeah, this is what Palantir looks like. And if you go over, even if you go over to, it hasn't been around that long, but if you're going to go over to a monthly chart here on PLTR, I mean, this is where it came through at a 920, the direct list. Went up to $35, went back in, made the low right there of $6. Like this, talk about generation. I mean, I didn't make generational wealth or anything on this trade, but $7 right there in 2022 to 180. It's like, and it's not like, I don't think you had to take that much risk. So I'm in Big Bear AI for hopefully a similar run. I don't think we get up to this level, but I like Big Bear AI, and that's another play that I've told a lot of people about, and I hope that some of you are in that name as well. I know a lot of you like SoundHound and whatnot, but that could be another sort of AI play that gets a chance to go. And they're actually up pretty nicely now as well. SoundHound up that 3%. And what a great base that's had there, $6 up to $16.50, and with more room to run there as well. So there are a couple great opportunities here. Good out there. We just got this again at 43 right there. So we may get stopped out again here if it does rip back up through 75. We put our order there. I'm going to get some more out right now on Intel, and then we'll put another bid a little bit lower. Hopefully it will take one more move down and fill us, but it does look like Intel's on its way back northbound.
Well, speaking of the chips, it hasn't been all that crazy on Nvidia, but it is about to break out that high. I really didn't want this one to the breakout. Like I said, I got BBAI, and then we played into open for the short side. But this 177, no, it's still battling with yesterday's top. A little bit of a, not calling it a false break yet, but there's a lot of sellers in here kind of holding up this move. If Nvidia goes, the market has a great chance to get back into those highs. I don't know if Apple's trying to break a wedge. I'm not thinking about getting back into it yet, but BBAI, and then of course short and open, and we're going back to Adara.
Time for happening now. What's happening here today is actually a lot of Fed speak, despite not a lot of economic data. Initially, I wasn't seeing any people on the calendar set to speak today, but then as of this morning, we did have this morning Fed's Kashkari pre-market speaking on CNBC. He is generally one of the more hawkish Fed members, and he was quite hawkish in today's commentary as well. Then we have Fed's Myron for what I understand to be his first public speech since becoming a Fed member. That'll be at 11 a.m. At 2:30, we will get Fed's Daily. Now, it is worth noting as well that Trump and President Xi of China were having a phone call. Chinese state media reported that it started around 8 a.m. It was scheduled to start at 10 a.m., but either way, at 9 a.m., either way, could be talking right now. If I get any details, I'll let you know. I also need to let you guys know, I'm just seeing this come through now. SMCI on watch. OpenAI reportedly planning to spend $100 billion on backup servers. SMCI and Dell, definitely names to watch here. Again, the information reporting that OpenAI is planning on spending $100 billion on backup servers. Keep an eye here on INTC, this one getting both an upgrade and a downgrade this morning, and Donald Trump posting an AI image about it on Truth Social. We know this one was on watch after we had Nvidia announcing a $5 billion investment in the company. Apple here also on watch. Their iPhone 17 series is now live, and Tesla getting an upgrade and a hefty price target from Baird this morning. So lots to keep an eye on, especially in the tech space. And again, watch SMCI with that OpenAI catalyst. Before we swing back to the guys, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Origenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Adara. And the thing is, just one note, like actually, people joke around and call him Crash Kari because he tends to be pretty hawkish, but he's been sometimes consistently hawkish, but he's not a voting member right now. So it's worth keeping that in mind. So when he says, talking about the potential of like raising rates, he doesn't get a vote, at least until they make some changes. But it's always changing, and sometimes you'll hear Fed speakers. It's good to know just who is voting and who isn't, and whose opinion might matter more than others. So open door in front of the volume weighted average price, still kind of consolidating underneath. But let's be real, the market
holding out again.
The market's right at yesterday, getting back into yesterday's highs where we topped out the first time. We could blow it out again. But what's weird to me, well, it doesn't have to be weird, it just happens to be weird to me, is Apple. Like, it's holding, not bad. Oh, I don't have my tool set up. There we go. It's holding higher lows, but also kind of like this downward trend, which is a little bit more distinct, right? So it's holding higher lows, and you've got this downward trend. Like, something obviously is going to break in it. Ideally, this breaks up and go long through 241, but if it goes down, that's going to throw any re-entry into Apple completely out of the window. Big Bear AI is kind of doing a dance off VWAP. It did do remember I said if it did like a bottoming tail, a candle bounce off VWAP, so it did that. And then I got some more shares on the next candle here at like 46. So let's see if this one gets back into the high. It's only up 3%, which is not a lot. But remember, this just held the 200, broke resistance at 6, and is now holding the 50-period moving average. And a break away from here does have lots of continuation room on the daily chart to like $7. This is a really good-looking technical trade. When you have a stock like this that just trends down and then clearly breaks the trend and consolidates for a couple of days, it's just good risk to reward. Let's see if we get some follow through. That's what we haven't looked at. We haven't looked at crypto.
Mm-hmm. I'm not looking at it. It's not moving.
Oh, I was going to say with the market load, there we go. And the market at the high of the day, pretty sideways there. I mean, unlike Apple, which is still holding that trend, this is at least creeping to the upside on IBIT, but nothing crazy just yet in the world of crypto. And as I said, you know, that the Bitcoin treasury play, that was a disaster. The opening move, take your profit, because that Zooz, it was Zooz, right?
Yep, Z-O-O-Z.
Z-O, yeah, that's right. Zooz Power.
Zooz.
Still. They announced the treasury. There's your move up. If you were in it at pretty much any point early, like you're at 3x, 2x, 1.5, but if you hold it more than 5 minutes, then you're starting to get yourself into trouble. Usually when it pulls back, you want it to hold the volume weighted average price, or hold, when you have a big topping tail candle like this, hold one of the even dollars that's adjacent, like 6 or 5. Just an absolute bleed here on Zoo. Still up 40% for anyone that happens to be in it. And just anecdotally, and I want to do some research on this, but I'm pretty sure it's the non-Bitcoin ones recently that have been having more follow through in terms of treasury plays. Like the ones that are, there was Solana, that one did a heck of a lot better. In my memory anyways, the ETH ones have done pretty good, having a couple of days worth of run, but the Bitcoin ones have been a little bit more, short the pop.
Yeah, people are yelling about what's up, ebb and flow. Is you just talking about AGMH? No. Okay, so AGM Holdings halted. All right, shout out to our girl Adara over there. We have a new symbol alert. AGMH right now up 322%.
So what is that?
And halty right now. We'll get some information on that one. And there it is, man. We'll spin the money again. So we wind up making more on Intel than we did on Apple, about 50% more, but we don't max it out because we did hold back. We got some out there at 63s. Once we broke that 21 period moving average, we talked about that, and then our last 10 or 15% or so comes out for flat on that break right there back up. So there goes Intel. You'll notice at the bottom, and this is what I talked about yesterday, was the risk to reward, right? It's like you keep your account green. Like, I've only made 2 trades. How can my account be green? And we're up more than our daily goal there because we got there, got out, and then we did Intel same ways out again right there for Intel. So, all right, I guess Adara has news on our friend AGMH.
Yeah, this actually on our watch list this morning, guys. This small cap right now about a $13 million market cap, million with an M for AGMH. Now it's also worth noting this one float of about 1.8 million shares, roughly 9% short float. The story here is that according to a Form 6K filing they just filed, one of their subsidiaries in Hong Kong just finalized the sale of one semiconductor unit, which is called the Nanjing Lucan Semiconductor Company, to a different company here in Hong Kong. The sale is valued at $57.45 million and was completed in early May 2025. So AGMH, again, it is worth noting here, small float, decent short float relative to the size of the float, and a catalyst. Back to you.
Yeah, so not a crypto treasury, which has been a lot of the ones that have been running. Just be careful with these. Not to, so sometimes when it's the China or the Hong Kong names, they can, when they flush, it tends to be a little bit more violent. And we've certainly seen that in the past. I don't want anyone to get rinsed. But yeah, good luck if you happen to be in this one. This is for sure no chase. I might at least price out locates. They're probably going to be expensive. I find the Hong Kong ones are very expensive locates. So BBAI, it's just gliding very slowly higher, which it's apt to do sometimes. So I don't want it losing VWAP. If it loses VWAP, I get out and wait for something a little bit lower potentially. Ooh, oh goodness. We haven't even talked about, it's a good look, Maximus Decimus Meridius in the chat here, saying Coinbase is worth a look. Coinbase is finally getting off the schneid, everybody. Coinbase been doing a whole lot of nothing, but we said this about Palantir, and it's also true of Coinbase. If a stock pulls back into bear territory, and the first reaction when it gets there is to find a clean support level, that's not bad, that's good. It's a good sign. And what happened when it broke trend and then held the higher low? You get to trend up. Now, do I think it's going to do what Palantir did with a similar look? Probably not, because it's not Palantir. But that doesn't take anything away from Coinbase entering a kind of a new phase. Like, it goes from the sideways consolidation to a bit of a breakout trade. So you definitely have a good one. I pretty much never chase moves like this. I sometimes think about if I want to mean reverted. I'll stay away from Coinbase at this particular. I'd rather join a trend cleanly if I can, right? Like if I like BBAI, join it on a dip buy because it's available. If I like Open Door, I like Open Door either way off the 10 level. It just happens to be down today. Then I'll short that one. And if it consolidates and then breaks down, then I'm in it. And I can hold through, but with the trend. But if it's too far gone, I'm trying to revert the trend. And I think Coinbase for myself is at least a little bit too far gone. Yeah, SOFI as well. SOFI has been an absolute barn burner. And one thing that you should keep in mind, we talk about day trading a lot, but when you're talking about investing or swing trading, just on the higher time frame, do yourself a favor and do not ignore these longer term charts because SOFI, oh, thanks, man. I just realized we didn't get one.
Yeah, I just yelled. Randy's over there just talking in the hallway.
Oh.
And I told him, like, Randy, it's in our contract that these coffees need to be delivered at certain times. And then I saw the lawyer and he confirmed. And so it's like, what's even
They're at the water
here?
cooler. It's Friday.
That's
water
exactly
cooler
where they're talking, right at the water cooler.
Which is weird. The water cooler for us, it's like a bottleneck to the kitchen. It's the worst place to stand. It really, because it is. If like two people stand there, you can't get into the kitchen. It's like stand by the coffee machine or something.
Then Randy said they've run into a problem, so I wonder what that is because. Randy.
Oh, I think
Randy's trying to do his best over here.
No, I think there was some noise complaints.
Oh, okay.
This morning, because they started early with the saw, and I think maybe it was a little too early. Is my.
Okay, I think he said
there's like a condo building.
I know, but I think he said they ran into a problem.
So like a physical.
I think there might be a physical problem. Maybe not. I hope you're right because we don't want to have any physical issues whatsoever right there. So anyways, Studio 8,
everybody.
Yeah, there's the coffee.
They're taking out that stage. So
I'm going to go long on VWAP break.
Gotta go.
Honestly. Let's go Apple long. 241. Let's go 61s. Let's just make sure it's confirmed here. And then we'll just try it. So we'll try it with like not as many shares, obviously, as not even close. We'll try it with about a third of the shares that we tried this initial break with, right? So we got out by the skin of our teeth there, and actually it was a good trade. It's not like we barely made money. We did make money, but it's only because we have multiple outs up here near the tops, and then once it came back into VWAP, which wasn't even there at the time, we just kept getting out at 242. So big resistance up there at 242. So if we even earlier than that, 241.90s, something like that, 241.80s. So let's get out of probably 20% if we do wind up getting this break. We'll get out some for 25, 30 cents, and then maybe we'll go from there. I honestly, man, we'll Barry Horowitz ourselves again for this. Like, thankfully, we're able to get out of Intel, but looky what I see right here for INTC. It is right back up into a 50 or the 200 period moving average. So for me, that's a short. So we're going to try to go short right now on Intel, and then just see if it's the trade that we think it could possibly be here once again. So we'll go short against let's go short against 30.30 right now. So it's like the ESPN there, 30.30, or is it 30 on 30? Yeah, I think it is, right?
30,
okay, so 30, yeah, some of that. All right, so we're going to go short right now. We're short at 17s because we punched the ask, but we're going to wait for some more at 20. Go ahead, if we're lucky enough to get that.
No, I was just going to say you'd never be able to guess. The first MLB player to 30-30 this year, you would never guess.
Oh, did you? I wanted to, no, I don't know anybody.
One of the slowest players in the league.
Kirk?
Juan Soto.
Oh, Kirk.
Juan Soto, because their first base coach is an absolute genius.
I wanted to send you something. It was that it's like 20 years ago, there was like 50 300 hitters in the league. And then 10 years ago, there was like 35 300 hitters in the league. And then last year, there was 6. And the year before that, there was 8. And I don't even know how many hitters are 300 this year. I think the pitchers are just dominating.
It's the same reason you've got high school kids that can throw 100 now.
Yeah.
It's like everybody, and this is great, like for biomechanics and what people have learned with biomechanics, it's insane. Like in all sports, it's unbelievable. So now, kids are trying to optimize their fastball when they're 12 years old. So now if you can't, like back in the day, 90 was a big deal. Now you got to throw 100 miles an hour, and everyone throws so bloody hard. It's ridiculous. So unfortunately, it makes it hard to hit, and they haven't done anything to change that. So I don't know why Micron is down 5%. And we've talked about this before. There was an upgrade on Micron today, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this other than maybe it's just, I have the wrong chart. It's been so good, it's doing a bit of a pullback because it's been so good the last little bit, and they report next week. But Micron is absolutely bucking the market trend today and showing all kinds of weakness. I mean, Nvidia just broke the highs, and that thing's going ham. Open door, this is another test of the low. This has now held this 970 like 4 times here. Maybe 5 wicks on the 3-minute, but if it doesn't break down this time, I'll reload it again, but you yesterday it defied you with an inside day where you just sort of just keep on taking the highs and lows and there was no follow through. Kind of hoping that's not the case here, but the idea would be that it also breaks 970 and goes further. So BBAI is slowly gliding up and this is slowly gliding down, but I just heard StubHub.
Same.
I just heard StubHub another low. This IPO has been an abject disaster on StubHub. Total, absolute disaster on this thing. $19. The issue price was, what was it?
$23.50.
$23.50.
I'll leave that for Sharif.
And now you're way out of the money. This is an embarrassment for them. At some point, there's got to be a value play here, but let this one settle down. It never looked good.
Give me Intel.
It's never looked good.
Okay, Joe. All right, there goes Intel. So yeah, good trade there, man. It came right back up. We talked about where it was coming up to, the 200 period moving average. So kablamo right there for another 10 cents back in on Intel, man. All we're doing is why we laid that out, just stacks on stacks on stacks. You know, like you make trades and you hope they work out for you, but you know, hope is a thing of the past for your boy. We're confident sometimes, most of the time, all the time. Pretty much. We've taken trades early on, like between 9:30 and 10:30. Those are trades that I believe in, that I believe can make some decent cash. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now, is try to play off of some of that. And, you know, so that was a good one there for Intel. That's why we're kind of trying to stick with the same names. But here we go. We said we didn't mind Apple to the top side there, but it just fell back in pretty dramatic with the market. So we're going to do something there as well. But this is like a tenth of a unit right now. So if your unit's 100 shares, this is 10 shares, because we're going to wait for 240 to break, because here it comes right now. The market's coming down. We've got a banger on Intel, man. I'm not going to throw money away on Apple right now. There goes Intel. Intel's now 20 cents lower, and we just put this Intel trade on 5 minutes ago. We went and got Neil a coffee, and then all of a sudden, boom, you know, nice downside play there for Intel, and huge play, actually. So we're happy with that one. Now, we got another one right here, right now. Can we get out of it? Yes, we can. Oh, my. Let's stack it up right there, because we just went long again on Apple, Neil. And now we have 30 cents on Apple. So I don't, like, you know, this day, you never know where the money's going to come through. But there's the 240 defend, man. We're long at 240.25. It's at 240.60. So it's just like I said, I messaged Obi last night, and I was like, bro, I'm not sure, you know, how I'm feeling. But Obi was like, I'm there for you. I was like, that's a nice story. Thank you so much for that one. But we're here today, feeling good, hitting these trades, and glad to be here. So there it goes, man, Apple. And I've only made 2 trades today, Intel, 2 names, Intel and Apple. So we'll just wait and see what's going on. Neil and I basically trading. You've traded a few names as well. Big Bear AI looking for
not really. This is
just 1 or 2 names. I'm not sure how many.
No, Apple's.
Oh, Reddit
early on it was Apple and Reddit. And then now it's been BBAI and Open Door, and that's pretty much it. Like Open just again held the low, so it's you've been able to get at best. I mean, I got my best fill is 88, but you have been able to get 90s, so you could have 88 to 90 short, but then it's holding 72, so that's the range here. I mean, Open Door is a $10 stock, so that just might be what it is. Remember, Open Door doesn't always move like $5, $6 in a day. Like sometimes it's a regular $10 stock, and that's what it's looking like here today. So make sure you play that range. BBAI similar, like it doesn't want to break out that high, but it's still, as far as I'm concerned, you know, the long is still valid. It's given you that hold, the higher low. The trend is pretty much intact. So want to be long this one into the high as long as it wants to hold. But it's really been all about the nuclear names, nuclear and quantum. Almost QBTS is, I think, the biggest. Well, maybe not. Only 4% on QBTS, but it's still breaking and holding higher. The market overall has been pretty blah. If the Nasdaq hit the overnight highs, and we're right back in. So you got to be particular on any long trades, I think, at this moment. But let's go to Adara, because we have the small cap recap, and that might be where the biggest longs are.
To start here with Unusual Machines, UMAC, no brand new catalyst on this one. They did announce earlier this week that apparently they have their first motor produced at their new U.S. facility, but this is a repeat offender, for lack of a better term. It's one that has run in the past. It's already up $1 here from the open. Then these last two are actually both featured on our watch list. You can get more details if you check out our Trader TV Live watch list. They are both on there in this morning's edition. AGMH here, AMG Group. This one did actually announce via a Form 6K filing with the SEC that back in May, its subsidiary, or one of its subsidiaries, sold one company to a different company in Hong Kong for roughly $57 million. Then we have CJET, CJET Motor Company. This is a penny stock, right now trading around 20 cents. And this is actually a crypto treasury related play. This one here announcing that they've have a new COO, Chief Operating Officer, by the name of Jason Miller. He has experience in the world of blockchain, and they're choosing him because they want to get into the digital treasury space. So that's the catalyst here with penny stock and digital crypto treasury play. CJET. Before we send you back to the guys, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool. Did you know that instead of risking your own money, you can now trade with someone else's capital? No more fear of losing, no more moving your stop loss down too soon, and you actually get enough capital to make it worth your time. So you can aim for big profits, not just a couple $100 a month. This is the revolution called limited risk trading, and it is powered by Trade the Pool. Here's how it works. Join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of the profits. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now for 10% off. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Thank you, Adara. And I just saw in the chat, unfolding Dawn.
What's up, Don?
Maybe this is the time. Is this the time for Webull?
Yes.
Without actually getting down to $11, Webull up 5% today. This might be the curl. You take what you get and you're not upset. I can't like accumulation and not be willing to acknowledge that maybe this is where it's happening on Webull. No break at that 1250. Looked like it was breaking down. I know I've talked trash about this as I'm not going with some of the other fintech space. I get it, but it is going today. Maybe we can break that consolidation. I might cancel my stink bid. Yeah, no, I'm not going to.
Stinky.
No, I'm not. It hasn't broken out yet. But it's still in that sideways action. But good day for it today, 5%. I was about to talk myself into canceling, waiting for the 11, but I think that's a little bit premature on Webull. So I'm going to buck away from that trend. BBAI is now starting to go. Someone asked how long are you willing to sit in it if it just holds the consolidation higher? All day if it does. Because like this, on the structure of the trade, right, like breakout, it didn't dip into 6, but breakout, hold the prior day high. If it doesn't break down underneath here, then why would I get out? You just hold it as long as it confirms the upward trend. And once it breaks the top, there isn't too much to look for on BBAI up top without going out to the daily chart. But 690 right here, we go back to August 11th, that was the flush day. That was the open where it rejected. So about the 690 level would be the ultimate target on BBAI. But it needs to clear out a little bit further. But yeah, as long as it holds structure, I think you're good to go. And Eric Vargas, we are aware there was news on Open Door. Was, I guess, technically positive news, depending on how you want to interpret it. And with the new CFO, I don't look at that one way or the other. If the stock was blasting on that news, I'd probably be long. But it's not blasting on that news. It's slowly going down. So I'm short that one under VWAP. And as long as it holds that structure, we'll continue to be short on that. And Walt Winchell, would it be okay to... I think of Mike Winchell anytime I see that name. Remember Friday Night Lights? It's a really good movie, by the way. Would it be okay to go into BAIG, BBAI 2X? You know what? I don't know what the liquidity is like on that one. Remember, with any of these leveraged ETFs, in a general sense, you got to understand how liquid they are. And I don't know what's in this. It's the Themes ETF Trust is what it's called. So if you know exactly what this holds, I don't. It's the first time I'm looking at it. But the first thing I look at is see 145,000 shares of volume. So for a day trade, that's about as hard to know as you could go. 145,000 in volume is not tradable. But it might be an interesting holding. I just don't know what's in it. Always look up to see maybe it's holding something that you like. But if it's like 3% of the name that you like and 97% of stuff that you don't want to own, then why would you go into it? So I don't know what's in this. I would have to look it up myself. I can tell you it's not tradable in a day trade sense due to low volume. But that doesn't mean it's a bad ETF. I don't know every ETF in the market, that's all.
You don't? Okay, so right here, yeah, fail, Neil. Too bad. Yeah, there's more ETFs than stocks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't know.
There it is right now. It's a dollar club in the back end right now for Apple. So there it is, man. Apple just ripped up. We just got 241.13s there on a bump back up there for Apple. And I was going to celebrate Intel a little bit there, and then it just ripped right back up. So it's a good thing we got some 16s right there. So we got stopped out. It broke through 30. Now I'm going to give it to 33. Actually, I put 33. That's wrong. It's 30. Let's go to 36. 30 spot 36 because we were able to get some out. I don't want to throw everything back, man. If this doesn't work, then we're out. So I will throw back 20% of my day on Intel if this breaks that level. $30.35. I'm going to throw back 20% of the day because we didn't really throw back anything. This was a good trade, and then we averaged it in and got out there. So we'll pretty much wash a little bit of what we did there with our last trade, but then we just got it right back in again there. And so with Donald Trump tweeting that stuff or truthing it out and everything like that, I mean, there's going to be a lot of love for Intel. So yeah, I'm going to stop out if we take out that high. I thought it was going to go down a lot more than this. You know, like I went to sold yesterday at $30.70. Like, you know, Intel right now only down 1%. So I feel like it's a little bit stronger than what I anticipated here for Intel today. So one more shot at it. And then if it breaks, then we are out, man. We are tapping out like someone did in UFC lately. I have no idea.
There's always someone tapping.
That's why I said like somebody. I don't know. All right, so let's see if that can come back.
Like Martin Shkreli in you. Oh, that was
Martin Shkreli tapped
like
out?
Martin Shkreli in possibly, I don't know, quantum names are open. Although, you know what? I don't know if he actually shorted any quantum names. We do know that he announced a short.
That call was like 6 months ago.
That's what I'm saying, and he might not have actually shorted anything in that stage. So
he did. So he said it.
We did.
How you will. This is coming from him, but as someone who spent way too long going through everybody's post, Martin Shkreli said it. He started at 9:36. He did not short until he set that post. Believe that or don't believe that, but that's like what he said anyway.
No, open. Yeah, open. We know. It's the quantum.
Can you find out about quantum?
The quantum name, because he had said, and I don't remember exactly the word, but it was actually a pretty interesting read because he had comments on each of the big quantum names that were moving, and it was on Rigetti, on IONQ, on QBTS, D-Wave, and then QUBT I think was the fourth one, and he had like comments explaining why he thought each one of them was not worth what they were, and price targets, and a couple of them were like zero, and I think IONQ had at least, there was some like backhanded praise for IONQ.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, there was. Actually, he was like, he's the only one that was kind of real. But I don't know if he actually shorted those. And
the thing about Shkreli is, I got to give him some kind of credit. It's like at least he's puts out like information that he believes in. It doesn't necessarily mean that he has to be right. It's like what we're doing here. Like there's Intel back in. Neil and I don't know how far any of these stocks are going to go, but we're shorting them or going long for reasons. So we got to say shout out to Shkreli.
Someone's saying he is, but I don't know.
For that. But we're right now, man. Look at Intel. We said that we were going to give this. I mean, live right here. We told you we're giving it 10 cents. So now that we're 15 cents in the money, let's start to take out a little bit more. I'm going to bid some 09s right now, and then I'm going to punch out right now into some 12s just to get some more out. So there it is, man. Intel, nice little downside play. Once again, man, this has been a hot day here for trading. I'm only on two names. We're $1 in the money on Apple right now, and we're at 13 cents, which I know isn't that much, but it is with shares. Nice trade there with INTC. So yeah, hit the like. I mean, if you guys haven't hit the like button, I haven't had a look at this today. Obviously, I haven't refreshed it. So let me just exactly refresh right now and see what's going on with this like button. Who's this handsome gentleman right there? What's up, my guy? Thanks for not. I mean, I wish you would have broke the high there, Apple. 1K, okay, 9,000 watching at 10:30. I like ye a lot. Hit the bid, yeah, first of all, and then hit the like button right there. And thank you for everything, for supporting all of us. We've got Sharif coming, we've got Joe coming, and that should be a really fun opportunity, to look at some mid caps, talk, look at some news-based stories and things like that. So we want to say shout out to those guys who are doing the midday show. Adara's over there at the desk all day now for us, so she'll be dropping out any stories that we hear. Unfortunately, Neil, it's been a little bit of a light news day here to start with. I mean, there's nothing really going too crazy, but all the traders, of course, that are part of our show have already joined the chat. So make sure you guys do get into the chat right now. This is what they've asked for so far here today. So there's that AGMH. You just got to put it in there. After big news on Intel, what's making you short? Is it big resistance? Yes. I could talk about that, Zion. If you actually go over the sticky note, I did talk a little bit about it and talked about some levels, but I'm almost stopping out of that. I'm long Apple. Apple right now is $1 and change in the money. I do prefer the long into a Friday. That seems to be pretty strong. We did write down AMD longs today as well, but it didn't dip into the areas. I was looking at 155 to 156. That didn't happen. And then, as Neil's mentioned a couple times over here, it's interesting to see Robinhood up 1.22.
It just did a bit of a move, Robinhood.
Yeah, so that's going to be included there tonight, and we'll wait to see what that looks like there on the imbalance locator there tonight. I'm going to put out some more at 17. So yeah, Zion, I just wanted to, look, I shorted Intel yesterday. I shorted it. I got out of some trades out of the long there yesterday. We're long, underneath 20 bucks. Just thought it was worth taking a little bit of profit. And then as we zoomed out on Intel, I'll just show you, it was right here. So I was thinking like this break right there at 29.75. So that was the big trade for me on Intel today, right there. That's the break. That happened pretty early, and we were able to cover it in the 40s, which was good. And then now I'm just like watching it drift up. We tried another short there, that worked. Then we got blown out of another one, and now we're back in again. So I'm just kind of massaging this trade. I really like it. Let's see if Intel can make a move down. I only like it to down into here, right? If we can get VWAP at 30 or even the 50 period, 29.90, those are my sort of areas of concern and where we're looking. And then Apple's been the apple of my eye all day. These are the top 2 trades on this stick. You can go find it at Instagram or on Twitter. So they're all there. We're almost at 2 times our daily goal. We'll do this. We'll go to the gym. We went swimming yesterday. It was pretty good. Maybe we'll hit the elliptical today. Sauna is good. Thing is, though, this might be a little disgusting, but the guy in the sauna yesterday goes, he said, make sure you don't like lean back too much and put your back on the wood there. He thinks he got ringworm from there. And I was just like, I don't know, man. If you did, you did. But so I brought some towels there today, put them on the benches for the sauna because now I'm paranoid over there about that.
I mean, that doesn't sound good.
It does not. Dude, yeah, I'm $1.40 in the money. Thanks, Chief, just letting me know about Apple. And good call, because I already had an offer right there at VWAP. So there's the dip buys on Apple. Boom, 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 boom. And then there's the out. And I posted this all on Instagram. So we continue to make some money there. Also getting filled on Intel, getting filled on Apple. Oh, boy, as Ice Cube likes to say, Neil, today is a good day. And it's a Friday.
It is a Friday, but... you know what? The market, this is the thing, the market's not that crazy for a witching day. But I want to quickly show you, we got BBAI, but it broke out the high, and then I have to respect a failed high break that breaks a trend. That's my out. If I'm playing a VWAP dip to a high break, you need to hold that continuation. So I might get back into the volume weighted average price. We're able to get 47s. The highest was about 62. It was only 5 cents worth of risk. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's dead. Yeah, I want to give it another chance to go off of VWAP because I really like the structure of that trade. And Open Door just took out the low of the day. So someone in the chat actually said that Martin Shkreli, they believe he was short the quantum names.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not. We do know he took this one at 936. And it's a complete coincidence, I think, that ended up being the low yesterday. But I'm looking for 950 at this point. Like, it's not really falling all over itself or anything like that. At this point, at this point, it's just slowly going to the downside. We might not be able to get that reload. Sitting at VWAP, I don't know if we're going to be able to get back into it, but it was down there for a while. Those nuclear names that were super hot fire in the morning just had at least SMR did anyways, just had a hefty pullback. That could just be a little bit of exhaustion and profit taking, but 16% here on SMR. It was Oklo that was even crazier. 19%, and it didn't pull back. So for what it's worth, SMR just had a heavy candle with Oklo doing absolutely nothing. So that looks like it's going to continue to be the stronger one. This would be Sam Altman's still connected to Oklo, but
he's amazing.
They still step a little bit back from that combination, but at the end of the day, it looks like Oklo is certainly the stronger one. Here's a blast from the past. Not that far in the past. Derek, thank you for the super chat. BREA. It seems like a million years ago that we were talking about BREA. It wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Fairly certain it was yesterday. And I'm fairly certain that, unfortunately, the whole what goes up must come down. Here's what I want to give you. We talk about these treasury plays, sometimes not in the best light, because I don't want anyone to get burned. We already saw that one Zeus today, rug people. If you weren't out in the first few minutes, you got rugged. Well, what can be interesting is when you have the crazy action and then you make a low, like it settled down at $22. If you remember what happened with QMMM, when everyone wrote this thing off, and I'm only talking about the potentiality here for everyone that seems to be wanting to catch lightning in a bottle for a long. It fell off, then held the low, and then gave you a couple of good up days. So if I was looking at BREA and wanting to look for that long, well, it gave you one low here at 22. If it can hold that low a couple of days, then maybe on the third or fourth day, you get like a decent risk to reward off of that low. I'm not trying to chase these crypto treasury plays or try to join these longs after they've already showed you the back end of the trade. I'd rather wait a couple of days while it holds a low and then try to get into a long maybe on the third or fourth day with a reasonable risk to reward. QMMM gave that to you. Maybe BREA gives that to you as well. But good call out, Derek. It's already on the back end of the trade, which for me is a pass. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, keep an eye here in WBD. CNBC reporting, and I want to make the wording of this very clear. CNBC reporting that Paramount Skydance is possibly offering $22 to $24 per share for Warner Brothers. We know PSKY wants to acquire WBD, and apparently this offer could possibly include, I guess, an offer there for $22 to $24 per share. More updates here with this potential PSKY WBD acquisition takeover, however you want to put it. Back to you.
Yeah, oh, I blame Joseph. Are we back? I think we're back. I'm telling you guys, if we're back, I was just about, you're not going to believe this, but trust me when I tell you, we were just about to give the scoop on Epstein. And then all of a sudden, everything went black. So I think that was a bit of a sign. We're not going to repeat what we were going to say about the Epstein files, because apparently we fade to black if we do that. So that's a big mistake for sure. So we are back. Sorry, the team was working on it pretty much instantly. But we got canceled because of what Sean and I were about to talk about.
We got Jimmy Kimmeled.
You can't Kimmel us. They can't Kimmel us. Is that a thing? You can't even call it Kimmeled. Not a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, I think.
Is it a thing?
I don't know. We're just playing around.
Is it big enough of a deal?
All right. Yeah. Someone.
I'm obviously joking. Don't actually cancel it. I don't know anything.
Yeah. You're joking.
Files.
Right now, $1.70. Right now. I mean, I don't know. the market, even though our stream goes down, it doesn't mean that Apple goes anywhere but up. So there goes Apple right now, man. And we've been posting this up. Our outs, a lot of outs there at VWAP. So we have the low of the day. And again, this is not rocket science. Like, it just, you know, like, just laying it out, like putting out bids there. We started it right. I always started a little bit early and then put on many more shares. Like this, guys, I can't say this enough. This is 25 cents worth of risk. We're now in the money 170 cents. So right there, 5-6 to 1 on this trade, you know, upside. We had it yesterday, we had it today. Even Intel, you know, at its lows there, we just got, as you guys were gone, we got a $30.02. So, you know, we're short here at 25. We said our stop is 35, that's 10 cents. So even though Intel's not moving, we're still trying to do our best to make a little bit of money there as well. So, okay, all good right now. Yeah, we're still waiting for Rigetti and all these kind of plays. I'd said earlier today that potentially Rigetti had topped out on that top wick candle. Oh boy, was that wrong, as we've just taken that out another 7.5% right now. We're just hearing in our ear, we both go right over to Peloton now because apparently Peloton calls are popping right now. I just think, so my big play, I talked about this on Monday. I said Snapchat at $7, possibly a buy, okay? We talked about this on Monday, all right, Monday. It was $7.40 on Monday. It's $8.40 today. Snapchat going, guys. What up, Adara?
Once again this week, we're seeing the Mag 7 perform in a way that is distinctly different from the rest of the market, as we have the market kind of push a little bit to the near the low of the day, or certainly below the day's highs. We have Mag 7 names holding up relatively well. Nvidia up almost 1%, Apple up almost 2%, Oracle, Palantir, Microsoft, ServiceNow, Intuit. A lot of these things in the technology services sector are doing quite well, even though we do have weakness, of course, in names like Micron. Retail trade, Amazon, the lone standout to the upside here, even more noticeable with Tesla versus its peers in consumer durables. Energy minerals pretty weak across the board. Producer manufacturing quite weak. Finance mixed and muted. Health technology has some strength. Amgen up almost 3%, but Eli Lilly, the largest component in the sector, down about 1.5%. So this is a really mixed look across the board for the sector. I do want to mention quickly as well transportation, because there are some bright spots here. Uber, which has had a really up and down week, is up 2% today, and FedEx, of course, on earnings day one, is up as well. Back to you.
There's a few chip names that are just, you know, weak out of somewhat nowhere. Like Micron is still at the low of the day. There has been no bounce in this stock at all. And we were talking about this on the upgrade board this morning, going into their earnings next week. And this has been probably the single most impressive, like, chip stock in the last 2 weeks has been Micron. If something's done better in the chip space in Micron in the last 2 weeks, then show it to me. But I guess they're selling it off.
Marvell. In the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, only because like this, it literally started.
Marvell's up like about 10 or so.
But like exactly 2 weeks ago was when this move started, which is kind of an unfair comparison because then it's cherry picking. Everyone has to go when this stock goes. Actually, this is a good point. In statistics, whether it's like, oh, since this date, this is the best performing stock, or like when someone gives you in the last 44 games, this player, whatever. If they're picking a ridiculously arbitrary start point, then you already know they're skewing it in favor of the point they're trying to make it.
Right.
Like if that starting point isn't equal across the comparison, like I saw one the other day with Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield, where they completely cherry picked exactly which game to start with. That just kind of ticks me off as a numbers guy because you know it when you see it. But anyways, Micron pulling back and not looking too healthy. Now got a trail on open. It finally broke down underneath that low. So just like with BBAI, once it breaks, BBAI broke resistance, and I put a trailing stop on that, which allowed me to get out. I put a trailing stop on this. It breaks the support for follow through to get to 950. You need to hold this trend line, which is now looking like this. So if it breaks the trend line, I'm out of this and waiting to get back in at the volume weighted average price here for open door. Grizz says SMCI is at low of the day. Then throw that into the bucket too. I know that Nasdaq's pulling back here, but you can throw that into the bucket of all of these chip names that are not doing too well and pulling back in. Not specifically sure why. They even had a positive news story here on their own. Like it's kind of a weird day for the chips. I would say Nvidia. Nvidia is breaking trend. That could be heading back in. What's AMD doing?
It is at 160.
Oh, yeah, it's at 160. Okay, this is a mean revert on AMD. All right. AMD just hit 160 and is now doing a mean reversion. This candle is going to close breaking trend almost for sure. So if this on a 3-minute, hopefully this candle doesn't go like ham to 158. Because otherwise I'd be chasing a move, which I don't want to do. But this is a trend break here on AMD, an all-day trend break, and into what is, I mean, there's not much resistance up here. But you have this prior resistance at 160 on, I mean, this was on the Fed day, right? The Fed top is essentially right here at 160. That's always significant in my opinion.
Yeah. Watch out. I mean, that's why I've been trying to sell some of these names, to be honest with you. Not all the names or anything like that, but trying to sell a little bit there because Fed might have created a little bit of euphoria there on the top end, but the Nasdaq continues to work. I mean, it's down a little bit here, flat on the day, but making a move down. All right, I have to cover some more Intel right here. That just made a nice move down. We don't have to do anything, but I'm going to. As your rate into the 50 period moving, Sean. All right, I put a 7. I should have just kept. I put a 9 now. Give it to me. Give me those 9s. There it is. So we'll take a 9 out right there and see what winds up happening. There's my 7. If I just was a little more patient, there probably get 7s. But 17 cents downside there for Intel. Decent trade. Apple, $2 now in the money on Apple. So that's going to hold fort for me today. However, it's almost identical the amount of money I made on Intel and Apple, so I feel pretty good about that, as those were the top 2 names that I wanted to look at. And then, as Neil already mentioned, Intel and IBIT, at least we had the right talk. I said IBIT's going down today, and there it is. Huge flush right now for Bitcoin. I think we were right, you know. It had a problem. I thought that this was going to be a much bigger sort of win there based on the Fed, and it just didn't come through. It's not, Bitcoin's not even, it's just a longer term. Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm negative on IBIT, because I am not. I like it. It's just, I thought there would have been more takeoff there from the Fed. I mean, it bounced off to 50. I really did think we were going back to all-time highs. Like I just told you, yesterday was the very first time since the last 4 years that we had all 4 major indexes, if you're going to choose IWM. I mean, maybe even gold. Maybe
well, speaking of IWM.
Topped out yesterday, but we had all-time highs across the board in all 4 markets. And Bitcoin, I thought, would have helped with that and got to go. And you can't include gold in that because gold's pulled back on Fed, which it generally will do. But there it goes. Gold still near or at all-time highs as well. So, okay, just quickly, and I'll throw it back to Neil. We just took another piece out on Apple. I mean, why not? Continues to go higher there. AAPL. There it is. What's up, Smoking Guns? Congratulations, man. Props up to anybody that has this trade, man. We nailed Apple on Fed Day. Nailed it again here today. I hope Sharif enjoys the phone. He's going to pick that up today, and we'll hear some reviews, I'm sure, we'll hear some reviews on TikTok or on here on Monday, or maybe even over the weekend. So, Sharif's, by the way, if you guys are following, is it your account or the TraderTV account? So I don't have TikTok. Maybe I should download it. But we have some hot fire. They're not called reels. What are they called? TikToks? We have some hot fire action happening right now.
I don't know what you call them.
This video has 160,000.
I was going to say.
What do you call a TikTok video? Is there like a? It's just a video.
It's a tick and a talk. But we have one right now up 160,000 views right now. So they're on TikTok.
My buddy sent one. So I have a friend. So I have a friend in my baseball pool that I used to play ball with back in the day. And he's kind of one of those. No, but he's kind of one of these somewhat passively active investors, right? He's always talking about TFSA and this and that. So we watch the show on a semi-regular basis. And he sent me that latest video. He's like, oh, this is
really
stuff.
Nice. So go check it out.
And it's the first time. And he happens to be on TikTok as well. I don't use TikTok. I think YouTube wins in a million levels. And I think YouTube Shorts win big and will matter more than in 5 years. We're going to be talking about YouTube Shorts, and TikTok might end up being a little bit of an afterthought. That's just my opinion, but I also own Google shares, so that is what it is.
But TikTok winning also is YouTube Shorts winning.
That's the thing. You're always posted in both. Like if someone's like, oh, there's this video on TikTok, and I'm like, I don't have TikTok, and then I go find it on Shorts like 2 seconds later. It's all the same stuff, and YouTube everybody has. We're going to go to Adair for Money Talks, but there was something I was going to say. Shoot, it'll come back to me. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's go to Money Talks. I think it's the position board is incorrect because I'm in AMD and it hasn't updated.
US dollars had actually quite the journey this week. We had a little bit of a double bottom on the daily chart, but it is worth noting we technically broke the low of the year, although again looks roughly like a double bottom when you zoom out here of this chart. Since that drop and then pop on Wednesday, we're now on our track for our third straight green day for the US dollar. So who would know that, I guess who would guess that this, not a surprise Fed rate cut, exactly in line with expectations, but the first rate cut since December 2024 would lead to a bit of a bounce here for the USD. Now, we do have a lot of Fed speak on watch today. The only Fed speaker we've had so far, though, today was Kashkari speaking on CNBC, and he was quite hawkish, as he is often known to be. He did say that even cutting the short-term rate doesn't necessarily mean that there will be lower long-term rates, and he's not sure how many cuts it'll take to get that rate to neutral. He did say, though, that there's some confidence that tariff levels are going to stay roughly where they are, but the economy is going to have to adjust to said tariff levels. So interesting notes there from Kashkari at 11 a.m. We get Fed's Myron, his first ever public speech. Then he'll give his second about 5 hours later at 4 p.m. In between the Myron speeches, we do have Fed's Daily coming through at 2:30 p.m. I'll cover all of that for you. If there's anything of note, I will certainly let you all know. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe as we send you back to the guys.
Crazy price. I was just telling you, Sharif, like I got this crazy price on Apple. Like right now it's $2.60. So I got to take some out at the day's high, man, for Apple. Thank you so much, D-Loaf. Let me see what this guy has to say here. Okay, half, there it is. Half for wing, half one of two, 50. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, half of 50. Okay, good. For wings and beers, been on chat not too long. Been out the chat and not too active trading. Okay, D-Loaf, all good. Life's gotten hectic. Yeah, man, it always does. And in a good way. Well, that's great to hear. There's a little something to celebrate with you guys. My account reaches all-time highs as we speak. You must be doing something right. So there's another one of our traders, not our traders, but another trader that has accounts at all-time
Live, you're one
highs.
of our
yeah, exactly. I was going to say
it's a family, so it's all good.
Congratulations, D-Loaf, and thanks for sharing that wealth as well. But I mean, yeah, we're at all-time highs on our accounts as well. As Apple is now just, wow, what a machine Apple is right now. Everybody gets an iPhone today, baby. This is a huge move to the upside for Apple. So boom goes the dynamite. We're in it. It's right on here, man. At Trader TV, Sean. Apple long, 241.50. We did better than that. We're at 240.25. And then the Intel short. So now, Apple will make more money than Intel for us today, but it is still a beautiful day. Shout out to you too, right there, because it's a beautiful day. And then right here, 181.50, good level there for Palantir, just falling right back into our lap one more time. But we can't do anything without talking about what's for lunch. Okay, the most famous segment of them all hits you guys right now. Now, we just got a note there about wings. So hopefully we'll be able to throw some wings down at some point here today. But today's cater-provided lunch. Look, man, I mean, some days you get winners. Some days they're chicken-related. Some days they're fish-related. You know, you could get some tilapia in your life a little bit there. But yeah, today there's not tilapia. It's not tilapia. We're not going to get back-to-back tilapias, Neil.
I thought it was going to be sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could tell you it was sandwiches today. It's lemon and herb chicken.
I have nothing against it. It's usually
lemon plus chicken.
It's usually pretty dry when they've done this one. And
vegetable pilaf, seasoned veggies. It's all right. And chef's choice salad. That's what's for dinner, or what's for lunch. I don't know what's for dinner today, but that concludes that segment right there. Lemon and herb chicken, vegetable pilaf, along with seasoned veg.
Yeah, it just means it'll be dry. So
yeah, it just means it'll probably.
So I think the position board didn't really update, but that's fine. I just got out of both, like VWAP retrace on AMD. That actually might continue here,
yeah,
but
Joe.
VWAP and red to green, or sorry, green to red on AMD. Like both those things happened on that trend break in AMD, and then Open Door broke the trend as well. So the short on Open Door, that broke the downtrend, so jumped out when it broke the downward trend. So Apple, AMD, BBAI, I haven't gone back over to BBAI, Open, Reddit, like all of them have been good. Let's check back in on BBAI. It's making the VWAP bounce. So it didn't bounce the first time, but now it's holding that prior high. So there's your prior high. Now that it pulls back, let's see this close above VWAP, and I'll re-enter BBAI because the structure is good. You're holding the prior day high. And on BBAI, it didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. I think we're going to Adair one last time. It's only 3 minutes to go.
Yes, we are, because, guys, we actually have talks from President Xi of China. I guess the call with Trump concluded. He's now speaking about what they said. He said that the U.S. should prevent unilateral pressures and that the U.S. should not be impacting the outcomes of the trade talks. So really emphasizing here the role of trade. He did say that the talks were positive and constructive. The relationship between U.S. and China is important, and that their position is very clear on TikTok. They didn't really specify what that position is on TikTok, but apparently their position on TikTok is very clear. Also saying that the Chinese government wishes respects from firms, I'm guessing with regards to TikTok, but again, this is pretty vaguely worded. But again, yeah, we're now hearing reports from Chinese state media that the talks were pragmatic and positive. Back to you.
Pragmatic and positive.
We'll take it.
Okay, I mean, positive is good. I like that.
Yes,
yeah, open is waking up, Ed Miller. That's one of the reasons to get out. Like, the way I see it is, if you were taking a trend break long, then I would go long there. So if I'm short, then at a minimum, it doesn't mean I'm going long, but at a minimum I would get out. If that's what you're looking at, but I like to use trend lines. So like, once you break out of a range, then to me, like, I don't use Fibonacci's or anything. So when you break the trend, that's where I'm jumping out of it. But you could probably slap some other things in there for indicators if you happen to like them. That's just what I see. Still very valid that it could come back into VWAP and then you just short it one more time. But do have to go back over to, I know we have 2 minutes to go here. I want to acknowledge all of these quantum names I know have been at the top of the list. QBTS, another high of the day break. So D-Wave continues to go. That looks strong. And then there's that AGMH, which still at the it's still at the top of the list here on the stock visualizer. So it's still at the top of the list, and it's back at the high of the day. So AGMH, this was not a treasury or crypto treasury name. This was a Hong Kong company with some news here, up 550%. Probably going to have. I don't want to make the assumption that Sharif will be trading this one, but it seems like it's up his wheelhouse. Small cap, above VWAP, and up 560%. Let that one sink in. Low float names are they're the kind of like the cat's meow for percent gains. But if you're not in early, personally chasing up here seems a little bit dangerous to me. But that's just me. To each their own.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, everybody, for joining today again, man. I mean, it's been a banger, and you guys have seen it all. Thanks, Neil, for some great trades. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We're back at 2 p.m., but for now we have the midday show. It should be a fun one here. Joe's ready, Sharif's ready. They're at their desk, locked and loaded to trade everything. And keep pumping that stock visualizer. Put your names that you want in the chat right there, right now. And then I'm just leaving you with the fact that we just basically stopped out of Apple. We still have a few more shares, like 1 or 2 percentage points left in our account right now for Apple, but it may pull back on this China news. It's just funny that you get TikTok deal, but then you don't, and then you do, and here's a framework, but maybe we don't. So I think that story is still interesting. You know what we didn't look at? We didn't look at Oracle. But Oracle right here, 303 right now. That tends to move today, if there's any kind of news about that as well. So, all right, Neil, I'll see you soon, obviously, and hopefully that lemon chicken is good, and we'll see what we get on our salad. So
it probably won't be.
That's going to be exciting. Thank you for the blackout we had today, and you guys stayed strong and did not disconnect. So if that ever happens, again, by
it's a little weird, but
let me know what's going on, or let us know in the chat. So, all right, thanks everybody. We'll see you at 2 p.m. It's the midday show. Joe Sharif.
Get them, boys.